Ladies and gentlemen, lend me your ears and your eyes. Diva Divine Light, live from Brooklyn, New York.
Know your lane for what you saying, yo. Silly with my 9 milli with the dilly, yo. When I be on the mic, yes, I do my duty, yo. While up in the club, every while in the studio. You don't wanna violate, nigga, really and truly, yo. My main thug, nigga named Julio, he moody, yo. Like a nigga that'll slap me with the tulio. Bitch, nigga scared to death, act fruity, yo. Fuck that, look at shorty, she a little cutie, yo. The way you shake it, make me wanna get all in the booty, yo. With no delay for what you saying, yo.
Diva Divine Light.
Really my heart to me. That's what you got for me. Put more than hands with my eyes to see. Still $1 in the place to be. If you really my heart to me. That's what you got for me. Put more than hands with my eyes to see. Still $1 in the place to be. If you.
You're watching Diva, the Divine Light. A fun-loving, caring, passionate person who talks about sex, celebrity, and real-life issues, and even abuse. So hit that like button and make sure you share the show.
Really my heart to me. That's what you got for me. Put more than hands with my eyes to see. Still $1 in the place to be. If you really my heart to me. That's what you got for me. Put more than hands with my eyes to see. Still $1 in the place to be. If you really my heart to me. That's what you got for me. Put more than hands with my eyes to see. Still $1 in the place to be. If you really my heart to me. That's what you got for me. Put more than hands with my eyes to see. Still $1 in the place to be. If you.
Here comes the pitch, and it comes in wide. On the double.
Yo, welcome back, guys. Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Can everybody hear me loud and clear? Do I sound a-okay? Let me know. Put a 1 in the chat or give me some thumbs up and let me know that you guys can hear me. Remember the last live I had technical difficulties with my audio, so please let me know that you guys can hear me. Hello, everyone. Good evening. So today I have our girl here with me today. Miss Empowered Esquire TV is with us, and she's going to give us her natural, honest reaction as always, and her wonderful wisdom of law. All right. Welcome back, Miss Esquire. Hi, baby.
Hello, everyone. How's it going? Hi, Diva, and hi to the whole OCOV fam and everyone else tuning in today.
By the way, can you please introduce yourself to those who don't know who you are, beautiful lady?
Yes, it has been a while. So hi everyone. Here on YouTube, I go by Empowered Esquire, which is the name of my channel. My channel is the Empowered Esquire Podcast. My name is Felicia Pearson. I'm a practicing attorney, and I love to talk about the law. So whenever I come onto Diva's channel or really anywhere else to discuss cases such as the Rkelly case, I give a legal analysis. I do not give my personal opinion. And although you may sometimes catch hints of what my opinion might be, I try my best not to let it seep into anything.
Thank you. Yes, and we love you. We love you over here, Miss Empowered Esquire. So, since you've been gone, I know you know that Rkelly has been sentenced in his Chicago federal case, and he's got 19 concurrent and 1 year consecutive. So I sent Miss Esquire the sentencing transcripts to kind of go over. and give her analysis of what exactly is going to happen with R. Kelly. Because I know a lot of people in these streets are very, very confused. Very confused, especially the supporters. A lot of them don't really understand. Even some of us over here don't really understand what's going on with his sentencing. So I gave the paperwork for Miss Esquire to take a look over, and that if she can explain to us exactly what it is that the Honorable Judge Harry D. Lennenweber put down as a sentencing for R. Kelly, as well as the supervised release. So, Miss Esquire, you went over the paperwork. Now, as we know, he gave him 228 months concurrent and 12 months consecutive. And he also said that these sentencing guidelines are to run with concurrent to what Judge Donnelly had put down in the Eastern District of New York case, which was she sentenced him to 30 years. And after 25 years, he can go up for supervision release.
So let me start with I'm going to first break down concurrent versus consecutive, but before I get there, I just want to give a brief hello to I Am Queen Newton, Les Meat, and Fat Boy. Hi to all of you, and hi to everyone else that I know, right? But those three are like, at this point.
Those are our lovely, lovely people. Yes,
those are
ma'am.
like my homies at this point.
So, yeah, I didn't get a chance to give a shout out to the chat either. Shout out to you guys. Y'all already know. But when I'm trying to do this live right now, I just want to get to it because I know Miss Esquire only is here for but so long. So I just want to get right to the point, get into it, and get out. All right, guys? But hello to my whole OCOV family, everyone in the bushes who's watching. Mwah! How's everybody doing out there?
So yes, let me first break down consecutive versus concurrent because I see that there's a lot of confusion with that. So we'll start there. So when someone is charged, aka convicted, well, not charged. Let me start over. When someone is convicted of a crime, there you go, right? Usually the one incident has many, many different charges and convictions attached to it, right? So let's use R. Kelly's instance, right? There was one trial, but during that trial, there were so many different charges, which means he technically has multiple different charges that he was convicted of. Now, the way the law views that is, okay, technically you've committed a bunch of different crimes, but really all of these crimes stem from the same incidents. They stem from the same situations. So because of that, they've carved out something called concurrent sentencing. So that means that, let's say, R. Kelly was given a year for one charge and then a year for another charge. If it is concurrent, that is only 1 year because the year that he serves counts as time for both charges.
Right.
So
right.
Again, concurrent stems from the principle that a person can have multiple convictions stemming from the same incident. And so constitutionally, it wouldn't necessarily be fair to have all of that time be consecutive, which we'll get to next, when they technically stem from the same incident. Now, consecutive sentencing is different. So consecutive sentencing would mean if R. Kelly is given a year on one charge and a year on the next charge, he would have to serve 2 years because it would be a year for each separate charge. So concurrent means it's all flowing together, right? Consecutive means you have to do the time for each charge separately. Now, when something is deemed to be consecutive versus concurrent, again, usually harkens back to the principle, right? You usually see consecutive sentencing when you're talking about different incidents. You usually see consecutive sentencing when you're talking about very distinct crimes. But usually, similar crimes linked to the same incident, you'll see that run concurrent because, again, the constitutional principle is it really fair to have you doing all of this consecutive time for essentially the same thing?
Thank you for that explanation, ma'am. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, because it's true. A lot of people don't really understand what concurrent versus consecutive is. And I'm glad you broke that down. I mean, we've had other people come and speak on it as well. And still, people don't get it. It's crazy how people don't get it. But right now, you just broke it down for us in a very simple form. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. That's what I try to do. I love teaching. Teaching is my actual like passion. So I hope to really just teach law one day.
That would be nice. I could see you doing that, mommy.
Yeah, that's one of my dreams is just teach law 24/7, you know?
So you would have to what, like go back to school to be able to teach it, or?
No, actually, I could teach. I've taught in the past. I could teach now. What I would need to do, Diva, is I would need to really lock in on teaching and walk away from the lucrative practices that I'm in now. Like the law that I currently practice is pretty lucrative, and teaching is not. Like people do not know that even professors, their pay is terrible. I mean, I would say until you maybe like get to tenure, it's pretty bad. Unless teaching at a law school. And then you can't start at a law school. You have to start teaching at colleges and smaller institutions and then, you know, work your way into that. So it's a lot. And I also would need to publish more work as well, which again requires stepping away from lucrative practices and setting aside time to write. So yeah.
So now that would be awesome. And me, I kind of put my stuff on pause because I'm going through a lot personally with my health and a lot of things going on with my children in school, especially my son. So I had to put my stuff on pause for a little bit. But I will get back to it because I would like to do that paralegal thing. So yeah.
Definitely.
You're never too old to do that.
Yeah, when you do, and I can totally relate. That's part of the reason that, like I said, right now I can't step away from things that make money.
Right, you're right, girl.
Not at this moment.
Teaching gotta be a side hustle where you get another W-2 form, where we get 2 W-2 forms.
Exactly. Fat Boy said, Miss Esquire really informal.
Yes, always. That's why we love her over here. Okay. We get all the knowledge from her, even though we have other lawyers on YouTube, but she personally breaks it down for us on a GED level.
I know, but Fat Boy knows me, so he should get that by now. Is this
right? Is this how long have you been around her, Fat Boy?
Yeah, is this a very I don't know who is this person that's using his account, but you're not Fat Boy.
No, but you know what? You know what it is, mommy? Okay, he's you know, there's people who I do have some new subs, so he is letting the new subs know this is our girl. She is very informal, okay, trustworthy of her law ethics, okay, and her knowledge. Yes,
but you know what? I have to say that it concerns me, and I have to mention this. It concerns me that people think lawyers should be formal all the time. It is 7:19. And I'm at home. Like, there's no need for me to be formal right now. I don't. It just, you know, lawyers are people too. We have lives.
Right.
Like, we're wives, girlfriends, daughters. Like, we are not robots.
Right.
It doesn't that, you know? So yeah.
Right. Now, okay, I wanted to know, what did you think about where the judge talks about how Rkelly would be 80 if he's alive when he gets out of the New York sentence, or close to 80, and his method of operation, or his MO, as came out during the course of the trial, was grooming young girls. Now he was grooming the young girls when he was in his 20s, and he was a millionaire and he was a superstar. So when he gets out in his 80s, there will be few young girls that would be susceptible to his charms as an 80-year-old with no money and no prospects. 80 years old are more interested not in grooming young women, but probably in their prostate and their arthritis and all the factors that go into the aging process. What do you think about that?
So that's some creative editorializing. I think it's very clear what I think it's very clear what the judge thinks of R. Kelly here. But I think what he's trying to get at, honestly,
Right.
is that the sentencing being delivered is really hinging on R. Kelly's age.
Right.
I think he's trying to say, hey, listen, some of you may think I should be harsher, but
Right.
here's the bottom line. With the
Right.
sentence I'm giving him, it really is equivalent to his life.
His life.
You know, an 80-year-old, let's be real, your time has passed, right? You're living kind of on borrowed time at that point.
Right.
You're thinking, well, any day now could be my day. So I think this judge really is just seeking to substantiate the sentence that he's going to hand down by saying, listen, you may feel like it should be harsher, but 80 something years old is equivalent to life.
Right. So basically, this is what he was basing his guidelines on. That's one part of it. Of
For
why
sure.
he gave, right, of
Mhm.
why he gave his reasonings for why he sentenced him the way he did. Then he says, so anyway, as far as if I was going to sentence Mr. I would probably have, considering all the factors that I've outlined before, I would have probably had a variance upwards from the top end of the guidelines, which was 168. Then he says, okay, and because of the increase in the current guidelines, so that in all probability, if I was sentencing Mr. Kelly as a result of, I would probably give him a sentence in the neighborhood of 240 months. So I will, it seems to me that under all the facts and circumstances, that is a valid sentence. So the 240 months, but I'm going to make the only part that's going to be consecutive with 12 months. So the sentence would be 228 months concurrent to be followed by 12 months consecutive. I'll have to work that out on the various counts, but that would be the sentence. So, Miss Esquire, he gave him 228 months concurrent, and that's 19 years to be followed by 12 months consecutive. So now, according to what we understand over here, he's got 30 in New York, and he just got 19 added concurrent, meaning it's going to run together as one sentence. And then he has to do an additional 12 months consecutive. Now, how exactly does that go? Because he's got 30 years in New York and 19 here. So once he does the full 19, then he has to do the extra one. Does he have to go back to Chicago for that? Like if they sentence him, or how does that work exactly when they move him to a prison where he's going to go? Because right now he's still in holding, right?
Right. So it gets really complicated when you're talking about a defendant that's been convicted in several different jurisdictions, right? But from a practical nature and also in like an ideal world, right? The place that first originated the conviction, that would be the time that he's supposed to do first, right? That's practical. And also that's what usually happens in like an ideal world.
Right.
So I believe the first conviction was New York, right?
Right.
He still has that time. However, depending on how they've calculated New York, he's been sentenced in New York already, right?
Right.
That's what we were discussing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the time that he's serving now, even if he's in holding, even if he was on trial in Illinois, yada, 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 more than likely, they would still give him that as time served on the New York sentence.
Right. So he's already got 4 years in.
Right. And they would count all of that as credit, all the time that he's been detained, right? So technically, he's serving the New York sentence right now.
Right
and
now.
Also, as I said, usually the first conviction, the jurisdiction that has the originating conviction, that's the time the defendant has to quote unquote do first, serve
Right.
first, if you will.
Right. So he has to do. So, like I said, but they're running concurrent, so they're counting together. So once he reaches the 19 years, then that extra year he still has to do it no matter where he's placed. Or
right.
does
Let me clarify that. So this judge cannot make sentencing decisions in another case. So when this judge is saying concurrent and consecutive, he is talking about in this case.
Right.
He's not addressing the New York time.
Right. So now he's got to do the 20 years no matter what. if so it doesn't matter where they send him, because people are also out here thinking that he has to be sent somewhere in a prison in Chicago to do the Chicago time, and then sent in a prison in New York to do New York time.
Yeah, no, not necessarily. But again, it gets really complicated when you're talking about all these multiple jurisdictions, right? And what will ultimately have to happen is that they will have to decide, being that this is all federal time, that's the good thing, I should say. Because if this was separate state convictions, it would be even messier, right? But because this is all federal time, more than likely they will create some sort of schematic. Like, prison time is crazy math, y'all. It's not easy. Even as an attorney, I couldn't tell you for sure what this time works out to be because you have multiple jurisdictions, right? It's just going to be a little bit simpler because it's all Fed time. So they'll enter it into their Fed time schematic that they'll use. It's ridiculous. It comes up with all sorts of crazy numbers, right? And they will figure out where it is appropriate for him to do the time based upon all of the running convictions, because they have to determine, first of all, what kind of facility he needs to be in. And that trumps location overall, right?
You know, I was thinking they would probably put him in a medium facility where they have white collar crimes and first offenders and sex offenders.
Maybe, but I didn't even know that they put SOs in medium security. I thought sex offenders were like a big time risk.
Oh, like maximum security? I don't know. I don't know. I just figured because this was his first offense.
So I would think that as with a sex offender charge, not necessarily supermax, right? But more towards maximum security risk, not in my opinion, medium. Then also considering that he's Rkelly. So no matter what, he's going to be, they're going to call it protection, right? That's what they'll call it. But he's going to feel like he's under max because with who he is, I'm sure they're also going to take extra measures to separate him for what they will say is his own good, right? They'll say, we need to keep you separated from the general population for your own security.
Right.
So,
you know, he's been complaining about that. We know that he doesn't mind being in Gen Pop at all.
Well, that's not his decision. That's not his decision. And remember,
wait a minute, Miss Esquire. Bunjean sold the facility. Like, listen, y'all ain't paying him.
That's his decision. And I understand why she would think that. She's his attorney, but that's not his decision. That's not his decision. And they have the responsibility of keeping him safe. So let's say they listen to Bunjean, right? And they put him in Gen Pop. And then goodness forbid something happens to him. Then Bunjean sues them. You see what I'm saying?
Right,
so
right.
Rkelly and Bunjean don't get to make that decision. And more than likely, they're going to err on the side of caution. And they're going to put him, as I said, I think something a little bit more heightened than medium. And they're going to say, it's for your best interest. We want to keep you safe.
Right. Now that we know that he's got these things running concurrent, one consecutive, now if, for instance, we know that he's going on appeal in New York, right? April 7th, Ms. Bonjean has to submit her brief. Okay. So from her submitting her brief, what happens? Like, how long after she submits her brief? Remember, I had asked you the question, but I'm going to ask you here as well.
Mm-hmm.
So when she puts in her brief,
Mm-hmm.
the judges look it over. Do they make a hearing or do they make the decision right then and there?
So let me break this down. I'm going to break it down a bit further than I did when you and I spoke on the phone, right? Just because we're here, why not, right? So the way that motions work is you have the initial party that submits the motion, right? They're the movant, right? Movant. And then you have the respondent, or the person that responds. So the respondent and the movant are in different positions. Usually there's 30 days between each motion. So a movant submits a motion or a brief or whatever it is, right? And then usually the person who has to respond, they have 30 days to respond appropriately.
So the government can respond back to her motion?
Usually they can respond. There's very rare instances in which you can issue a brief or a motion or any sort of submission to the court and the opposing party can't respond. That very rarely happens. So I can almost assure you that this instance is one of those usuals, right? In which if prosecution has some sort of answer, reply, response that they would like to submit, they will have that opportunity.
Okay. And another thing, so do the judges go over the brief? Do they make the decision right then and there, or do they put a hearing?
So this is another thing when we're talking about appeals, right? So let me make sure that I'm clear on this. So she is submitting this brief to appellate court, right? Okay. So appellate court is different than a lower court or a trial court. The appellate court assumes that all of the facts that needed to be found and deciphered were already found in lower court / trial court. So there are some instances in which an attorney might submit a motion or a brief to an appellate court, and they'll say, oh, we can just look at the transcripts from the trial, right? They'll look at the transcripts from the trial. They'll say, okay, here is our opinion on the arguments you made based upon what we reviewed in the transcripts, and then they'll make a decision. Now, in some instances, the appellate court might say, you know what? We can't make a decision with just the transcripts. We feel that we need to hear some more information. And then they may say, you know what? We would like to schedule an oral argument because we have some questions for you. An oral argument is structured to answer the questions of the appellate judge. It's totally different from a trial. The attorney comes in, and it's super intimidating, by the way. Take it from someone who has completed many of them. So you go into the appellate court, right? It may be one appellate judge, it may be a panel. It depends on what the setup in that jurisdiction is. And literally, they get to just ask you questions. It's just rapid fire questions where they try to ascertain, okay, how do I rule on this motion? Because what I saw in the transcripts was not enough for me to make a decision.
Yeah, it's in the Second Circuit. So I believe it's 3 judges.
Okay, then see, so it'll depend on whether or not they feel that they can decide on this motion based upon the transcripts they looked at, or if they're thinking, no, we need to hear some oral arguments because I have more questions.
See? So guys, so you see that? The judges, once they see her brief, they don't have to necessarily have her come in to have a hearing. They can just read the transcripts if they want to go through the trial and have questions of their own curiosity and look through the transcripts and make a decision off of that. Or, as Ms. Esquire says, they can say, well, I don't get this and I don't understand that. Let's see if maybe, all right, let's make an oral argument hearing. And then they'll schedule hearing. And then that's when Ms. Bonjean will have to come in. Now, Ms. Esquire, if they make a decision just based off of what they read and they decided to grant him the appeal, right? And they say, okay, well, you know what? We're going to overturn his charges. And he gets let go of the racketeering charges and everything else. And now he's free from that. What happens next?
So you're saying if they grant the motion to give him a new trial? I'm sorry.
Or acquit him.
Oh, okay. So here's the thing.
Remember, he put in for both.
Okay, so let's say the appellate court decides to, for some reason, overturn this conviction.
Right.
Now, there are a number of caveats that come with that. They could say we're overturning this conviction because the underlying trial has some issue and you need to do a new trial, right? Or they could say we're just outright overturning the conviction because it's an improper conviction based on the evidence that we observed in the transcripts. So there's separate lanes here. They could also get the new trial, like I said, or they could just straight up overturn the conviction. Now, let's say they did overturn the conviction.
Right.
From a practical perspective, he would no longer have to serve this time, right?
Right.
But he still has time from New York.
From Chicago.
Oh, I thought, no. Isn't this?
He's appealing right now.
Oh, you're talking about the New York appeal. Okay.
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
30 years.
So, yes. So let's say they did say, all right, we'll overturn that conviction. And it's an outright overturn of conviction, not going to a new trial, none of that, right?
Right.
He still has the Chicago time. So from a practical perspective, he'd still be facing issues, right? But could they overturn the conviction? Yes. Now, would they? It's unlikely. It doesn't happen very often, right? And usually a straight up overturn of conviction has to do with severe evidentiary issues during the trial. I mean, severe. I mean, issues such as a witness outright lied about who they saw, they identified the wrong person, new DNA evidence comes out and the DNA doesn't match, like that sort of glaring issue with evidence.
Or how about prosecutorial misconduct?
Prosecutorial misconduct could result in an overturn of conviction, but that's usually the kind of thing that results in a new trial. Like that's usually we're overturning the conviction, try again. It's not always, unless it's very egregious, right? Unless you have a mixture. So I've seen like prosecutorial misconduct that caused the evidence to be somehow off or tainted, or that can result in one of those outright overturn of conviction. Okay. But usually prosecutorial misconduct doesn't rise to the level that would mean that the entire conviction is so far tainted that a new trial wouldn't result in an actual effective justice.
Levi, I'm going to drop the link so that if you have any questions in a little bit, you can feel free to speak with Miss Esquire. All right. And don't worry, Levi. You know a diva always worry you. You always be worried by me. Worry. Miss Esquire, this is Levi for Kelly. This is Rkelly's AKA cousin by his, not by blood, but they cousins.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
Yeah. He loves it over here.
Oh, that's sweet.
So we're going to help him out because he thinks Rkelly going to be free, girl. Mm-hmm.
So Les Meets wants to talk about prosecutorial misconduct. So prosecutorial misconduct is when a prosecutor does something that is unethical and or illegal. And like I was saying, there's levels to it, right? Certain things that are quote unquote misconduct may not necessarily result in a conviction being so far tainted that a new trial could not result in justice. But then there are some things that may mean that the conviction is so far tainted that it is totally egregious, and even a new trial couldn't possibly result in any effective justice. Here's what I mean. So when Diva and I were just talking about DNA, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say a prosecutor swaps out DNA. Like, let's say a prosecutor knows for sure that this DNA bag in his or her hand is not going to come back as a defendant. And so that prosecutor, I don't know, goes to the defendant's house and picks something out of a trash can, does a little swapperoo, That level of misconduct is the kind of misconduct in which an appellate court would say, I'm outright overturning this conviction. Forget it. You're done. You're done.
Right.
Because that is absolutely egregious. And also, it points to deep evidentiary issues, which insinuates that the defendant was totally innocent to begin with and maybe should have never even stood trial. Now, let's put that up against prosecutorial misconduct that isn't necessarily to that level. So here's an example.
Okay.
Prosecutor has man on trial for home burglary. Prosecutor receives a letter in the mail that says, hey, my name is Andrew Slockenstein, and I'm actually the person that robbed that house. Like, it is not Rkelly. You got the wrong guy. It was actually me. Prosecutor gets this letter in the mail. Prosecutor is supposed to hand this letter over in discovery, right? We've talked about this before. Different jurisdictions call this different things, but in New York, they call it Brady, right? It's quote unquote exculpatory evidence and or evidence that could prove that the defendant is innocent.
Innocent, right.
Okay, so prosecutor is supposed to hand that over during discovery. Let's say prosecutor, I don't know, loses it on her desk, right? And so it never gets handed over. Now, defense discovers that, they appeal the conviction, and they mention that to the appellate court. They say, appellate judges, we found out about this letter and it was never handed over. Okay, now the appellate panel may say, okay, we're going to overturn this conviction, but we'll send you back to the lower court for a new trial because you tainted that trial. But from what we've seen, we still see enough preliminary evidence that we think a clean trial could result in effective justice here.
So there's your answer, girlfriend. Okay, so now, Miss Esquire, Miss Bungine, all right, is arguing about a text message that was not put into Brady, but it was there, but it wasn't used at trial.
So a text message that wasn't handed over when it should have been?
Right. In other words, the text messages were there in Brady as discovery.
Oh, okay.
But the defense didn't use it at trial. And Ms. Bungine is arguing that it should have been used at trial. Now, would that be prosecutorial or would that be ineffective counsel?
So if Bungine is arguing that evidence existed in discovery that she could have used, but she did not present?
No, not her. Not her. Canick and the other attorneys who were dealing with his New York trial.
Oh, I see the argument now. I forgot that I have to keep all these attorneys straight because he's had 50-11.
Right, he's had a lot. Right. So remember, Canick and Scholar, Nicole and Thomas were his lawyers on the New York trial.
Right.
Now,
he's arguing they didn't do their job.
The text messages, were that the mother and the daughter were conversating, how the mother, it looked like the mother was coercing the daughter on how to behave with Rkelly. Ms. Bungine is arguing that it was the mother who coerced the daughter to travel to go see Rkelly. It wasn't Rkelly who did the coercion and the enticement.
So what I'm getting from this is Bungine is arguing that his counsel was ineffective in that trial because they have evidence that they did not use as they should have. Okay. So let's delve into ineffective counsel. So ineffective counsel is one of those arguments that it's challenging, right? It's challenging to win, and I'm going to tell you why. The law gives a lot of leverage to the autonomy of an attorney. The law says an attorney knows what they're doing, and they have the right, they have leverage to make strategic decisions. And so when you're trying to argue that counsel was ineffective, you have to prove that that decision goes beyond their right to strategy. Like you have to take it a step beyond and say, okay, attorney, I know you have the right to make strategic decisions, but I feel that this was one step beyond that. I feel that you somehow violated a constitutional right, or I feel that you left something out so glaringly that it could not have been strategy. It has to be incompetence.
Mm. So that would be ineffective counsel argument.
Correct. And as I said, it's not easy to win because she has to prove that it goes beyond strategy. And all they have to say is strategy.
Right.
They have to say, no, listen, we all got together. We
now
them, and we decided it was our strategy not to use them.
See, now another situation that's going on right now, Miss Esquire, is that Rkelly is doing world tours on YouTube. Okay. And he's pleading about how back in 2019, the blogger Tasha K had cahoots with a BOP officer who accessed Rkelly's private emails and phone calls and commissary, and who wound up letting the public know about his private emails to his girlfriends. And he's convinced that because of this is the reason why his girlfriend flipped on him, and is the reason why he was convicted in the Eastern District of New York. If she didn't flip on him, he would never had gone to jail.
So that is a stretch, right? I think it's a stretch to say that one witness created the entire conviction that we've that we've seen handed down there. However, I would like to note that your privacy as an inmate is severely reduced. I mean, severely reduced, right? The facility has the right to look at almost everything except your attorney client conversations.
Right.
I mean, even your medical records, to a certain extent, are open to the facility within the extent that they need them to house you appropriately, and also within the extent that they need them for you to receive medical care in the facility. So privacy is extremely reduced. Letters, text, emails, phone calls. We all know that all of those phone calls are recorded, and they are totally permitted to listen to those, with the only exception being attorney-client conversations.
Right. Now, I'm going to let you listen to this and let me know what you think after. Here we go. And this was done on the Storm Monroe. Storm Monroe wound up getting the interview with Rkelly. Rkelly wound up calling Storm Monroe to speak to him about what he wants to happen and what he feels is happening to him. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Wait. Where is it? Hold on. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear it.
Hi, Diva. I did send a private message, but I can't hear anything. I'm not sure if anyone else can.
Nobody was able to hear that?
No, they were telling you in the chat that they couldn't hear it.
Yeah, I walked away for a minute. I'm back. Hold up. Wait a minute. What? All right. Why are you not being able to hear it? You weren't able to hear it? What the fuck? Very weird. Let me. Wait a minute, y'all. I don't know why y'all can't hear that shit. That's crazy. My speaker's on and everything. It's work. What is it that you can't hear Rkelly, or you can't hear it at all?
I heard something very, very, very low, but I couldn't make out any words. And it could have just been background noise that I heard.
What? All right, give me a second, guys. All right, I'm sorry, guys. All right, I'm gonna try to play it again, and let me know if y'all can hear it. Because I don't really want to share his video and get striked or anything like that. So I just want to play the audio. So let me all right, I'm gonna try to play it again, guys. Let me know if y'all can hear it. Can you guys?
No, I still can't hear anything.
All right, I'm wondering why you can't. All right, I'm just gonna do it.
That I was saying to my girlfriend
Okay.
on this same phone I'm talking to you on.
You talking about Azriel, right?
Now let me know if you guys can hear it once I play it.
Okay.
That's my case.
Okay.
Now shout out once again to Storm Monroe. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
The only
You
thing
can hear it now.
Okay, you can hear me now. All right. Let me.
It's okay to have
Oh my
witnesses on
God.
stands in case
Sorry about the
there's
technical
no problem,
difficulties, guys.
but they're not
My
supposed to be
apologies for that,
sworn
y'all.
witnesses.
All
They're
right,
not
so I'm gonna
supposed to
try
be
to play it
witnesses
here,
that's
and let me know if
managed
y'all can hear
because
it from
they
here,
may have
okay?
seen some emails and heard some phone calls
Let's
between
try this
you and
again.
another woman.
Mm.
That is not how you're supposed to get your witnesses or have your witnesses.
Oh, wait.
And that's what happened.
Ah, shit. Hold on.
They call her Officer A. It's 4 years later, and I still don't know who Officer A is. It's 4 years later. Officer A was never arrested. Tasha K was never arrested or faced any kind of charges for witness tampering or computer theft or showing my illegal law enforcement information to witnesses. It's a crime to even access those records.
Yes, it is.
There is a search warrant that exists. I don't know if the public knows about it, but it is public knowledge. See, man, yes, I have a court case in New York. Even though
I know we only got 15 minutes, so.
so I'm going to get straight to the chase. It's simple.
Okay.
2019, I was arrested, of course. And in 2019, during the time I was being detained at the BOP MCC, there was a disciplinary hearing officer that's like a judge in the prison that was accessing my records illegally. And she did it 153 times. She then shared that with a blogger, a YouTube blogger by the name of Tasha K. Tasha K mentioned that she shared all of my information with government witnesses' parents and government witnesses on her podcast. I didn't know anything about this until I was 3 weeks away from my verdict in New York. That Tasha K had shared my information with the government witness in my case in New York.
Wow.
I knew nothing about it until I got to Chicago, and it was in the Sun-Times and in the Tribune that this had happened. And the reason it proved to be true is because they were quoting verbatim everything that Tasha K said that I was saying to my girlfriend on this same phone I'm talking to you on.
You're talking about Azriel, right?
I can't name any names because that's my case.
Okay.
Okay? But you're just going to have to, storm through, kind of like put it together.
Yeah, I got you. But
the only thing I can say is that you're not supposed to do that. Okay? It's okay to have witnesses on stands and cases and all that. No problem. But they're not supposed to be scorned witnesses. They're not supposed to be witnesses that's mad at you because they may have seen some emails and heard some phone calls between you and another woman.
Mm.
That is not how you're supposed to get your witnesses or have your witnesses. And that's what happened to me. And when I found this out, I immediately let my attorneys know, and they checked into it. Come to find out there was actually a search warrant done on the BOP officer. And they call her Officer A. It's 4 years later, and I still don't know who Officer A is. It's 4 years later. Officer A was never arrested. Tasha K was never arrested or faced any kind of charges for witness tampering or computer theft or showing my illegal law enforcement information to witnesses.
We're going to pause it right there. So, Miss Esquire, so far, what do you think about this little tour?
Okay. Oh, so many layers. So many layers. So let me take it from the most recent statement.
Let me go on mute on that note.
There was a statement made, by the way, again, as I said, lawyers have lives. So I'm loading the dishwasher. You may hear a noise in the background. You may, like, I have an actual life.
Don't worry, baby. It's all good over here. You know that.
Recent statement that was made about how prosecutors are supposed to, quote unquote, get their witnesses. So, I love to teach and to share certain things that people don't really know. People do not know that law enforcement is permitted to lie to get evidence and to get witnesses. Yes. So, for example, if you're in interrogation, a police officer can lie to you. They can flat out lie to you if they're doing it to get evidence that is accurate. So, if someone, law enforcement officers, for example, said to Rkelly's girlfriend, Barista, you know that I have a phone call in which he's telling Nozell that Nozell is really the one he loves. And it's not even true. Yes, the law enforcement officer could do that. Law enforcement officers are permitted to lie to get accurate evidence. So they can't maim evidence, change evidence, or misportray, misrepresent evidence, right? Because misportray might not be a word. But they can lie to you. In trying to gather evidence, they can lie to obtain the evidence. That is not illegal and it's not unconstitutional.
Right. So this whole mumbo jumbo about his girlfriend's emails and all this and that. Wait till you listen to the rest. So we're gonna listen to the rest of what he has to say. Let's continue with this. This is very interesting.
It's a crime to even access those records.
Yes, it is.
There is a search warrant that exists. I don't know if the public knows about it, but it is public knowledge. Yes, I have a court case in New York. Even though I can't go into that court case or talking about that court case, but those are the facts. There's a search warrant that exists. The search warrant cannot be executed unless a judge signs off on it. So obviously a judge thought that it was enough probable cause to even sign off on the search warrant to be executed on the BOP officer. Now, I don't know Tasha K or whoever. I'm not mad at these people. I just don't think that they understand how the law is supposed to work.
Right.
You can't tamper with witnesses, federal witnesses in a federal case. You can't be showing them contraband and illegal contraband off the system here. My private phone calls or my private emails or information. That you can't do. And those things were done. Because
Diva, pause it really quick when you get a chance. I want to address something about privacy.
Yes, ma'am.
So he makes a statement about you can't show private information. And again, what is private? What is private for an inmate? Right? We got to remember that privacy is reduced when you are being detained. So if these emails were sent from a detention facility, if these phone calls were made from a detention facility, his level of privacy in them is not the same. It's not like somebody who's out and about, right? And the next thing is, if there was a search warrant and they searched this officer,
yes,
they did believe
a laptop.
Okay, so perhaps they did believe that this officer may have done something wrong. But if they searched her and nothing resulted from it, they may have found that she actually didn't do anything wrong.
Right. This is what we're trying to tell everybody. They found the conclusion that there was nothing illegal done. That's why they left it where it was at. But people out here still are like, no, write letters, bombard them with all these letters and let them know that the informants, they tampered with the witnesses and they changed her mind. And that's why Rkelly's in jail. They're trying to put a blame on somebody except for the person that actually did that. Levi, I'm going to put the thing in the thing. Okay, come up here with your thing and the thing. Come on up here, Levi. Levi, come up here, Levi. Grown little boy, if you want to come up, come on up, grown little boy. We're not going to be here too long. I just want Miss Esquire to listen to a little bit more. All right, I'm going to play a little bit more for you, Miss Esquire.
You in the beginning of your trial, me being arrested for 6 months straight, and then out of nowhere flip on me within 3 weeks, and all of a sudden want to allow me and say all of this stuff. It just doesn't happen. Somebody you've been with for for years, and all of this time I've been trying to figure out why. But when I come back to Chicago after being convicted and sentenced and staring down the barrel of 30 years of my life in a damn bathroom, I found out that my information was being shared with, witnesses, and it was being shared by the Tasha K. So a DOP officer, disciplinary hearing officer, which is a judge in the Bureau of Prisons, how do you even know a YouTube blogger? These questions you have to ask yourself. These questions people have to ask themselves. And I'm not going to lie. I don't have anything bad against the DOP. I don't have anything, not mad or anything, or have anything against law enforcement or anything. I just have something against this one individual who accessed illegally my records 153 times. And on that same day, the affidavit said that there were 60 other BOP employees that accessed my records illegally on that same day. So there you have 61 BOP employees that work for federal that illegally accessed my records, my phone calls, my emails. And the last time, and when you talk to your, just put it like this, when you talk to your female, I'm kind of pausing because I want to make sure that I don't go into my case.
Right.
Excuse me for that.
No, you're fine.
But to give you a scenario, if you tell one woman, hey, I'm going to give you the money, you put the money behind the blue couch, and because the other lady is spending the money, and she's not supposed to be spending it because I need that money for lawyers. So you're being more responsible. You take the money, put it behind the blue couch, and don't tell her, just hold it and use that for emergencies or if I need anything or pay bills or whatever. The other woman is not supposed to know the very next day.
Miss Esquire.
Yep.
So, what do you think about his reasoning why the DOJ is messing with him, and they did this on purpose to make her flip so that they could get their conviction?
So let's say hypothetically that, again, the prosecution told Azriel about things they quote unquote knew about Rkelly's relationship with Jocelyn. Again, hypothetically, I'm kind of annoyed that I use their names because I usually don't, but it already happened. Okay. All right. Let's say hypothetically they did. There is no regulation or law in general that prohibits that, right? Again, when we talk about the corrections officer and whether or not if she was searched and she was found to have done nothing wrong, she was found to have done nothing wrong, because privacy is not the same for an inmate as it is for a person who is out and about. I will say this, though. There are certain regulations that cover an employee in a facility, right? And so it's possible that the officer was not supposed to share certain records with a certain blogger, but
Right.
again, that has to be substantiated. So it has to be proved with evidence that this officer handed those documents over to Tasha K. Right? Like, and then you'd have to direct it back to the rule or where in the code of conduct it says that she's not permitted to do that. And again, every single step would have to be corroborated. And the person and or people that would have the burden of proof is Rkelly and his attorneys. They would have the burden of proving and providing evidence that supports every step along the way. And then let's say they did. And let's say, okay, this officer handed over information she should not have to Tasha K. That does not overturn a conviction, usually, right? That results in the officer being disciplined, maybe losing their job, maybe being suspended, maybe facing losing their
Hold on. I'm going to pause you on that. She actually retired right before this happened.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, as I said, whether
That's
or not
why they
right
didn't
level-
disciplinary her,
okay.
because she had retired.
Okay. So whether or not this would rise to the level of overturning a conviction, I doubt that. But as I always say, trial work and the land of trials is unpredictable. So I can never say that a judge would absolutely not, and they would definitely not overturn a conviction. I don't find it to be likely that that would rise to the level of something that overturns a conviction. But the thing about trial work is you just never know.
Right. Right. So let me introduce everyone on the panel. Say hello, SpongeBob, Steve,
Hello.
Ruth, and Levi for Kelly.
Hello there. How are you guys? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello there.
Yes, we hear you. Anybody have a question for Miss Esquire?
Yes, ma'am. Miss Esquire, I want to say this, that it's very, very comfortable for me to engage with intellectuals. And from what I've heard, you are a very intelligent individual, and I respect that. However, I understanding that you as an attorney, I myself, working with attorneys for years, I understand that you guys are wordsmiths. The words that attorneys speak, every single word is very important, and you must listen very closely when an attorney is speaking, even outside of the courtroom on a personal level. I've dated female attorneys, and one thing I respect about you guys is that you're very careful with your words. And something you said about 5 minutes ago, you said that even after the search warrant was served, you said that they, meaning the government, may have found no legal malfeasance, or that the BOP officer did not do anything that rose to that, I'm paraphrasing, to that level of illegality. And I listened to you very closely, and you used the operative word, they may have found. I would say that when it comes to our Justice Department, when it comes to the government, I think that you would agree that our Constitution and the way our rule of law is set up in such a way where no government official, no edifice, or that which falls up under the auspices of American justice, no one is infallible. No one is should be considered to be beyond reproach. So you were right to use the word they may have found that there was no legal malfeasance. However, when you're on the other side of that gun, of that firearm, and it's pointed at you, we cannot take the government's position as being the word of God if you will. We cannot, you know, we must question the government. Would you agree with that?
So what your question is?
Well, it was more of a statement. My question, if you want me to turn it into a question, is how can you say, or is it here's my question, is it your position that because the Justice Department, the United States government, investigated what took place with the absconsion of my cousin's emails, is it your position that because their investigation, according to them, warranted no legal action,
right,
that they were somehow justified in saying, well, in other words, should we believe as American citizens the government? Should we just believe, oh, they looked into it, they said there was no legal malfeasance, so let's move on? That's my question to you, Miss.
Well, that's an interesting question. So I will say this. I've always said on Diva's channel from the beginning that the reason that we have an adversarial system, meaning you have prosecutor and defendant, right, is because the goal is supposed to be to get to the truth. That's supposed to be the ultimate goal. And when you have adversarial parties, then you're going to have each person defending their side. So I've always said on Diva's channel, hey, listen, understand that Rkelly and his attorneys, they are going to try every argument possible. If Rkelly's attorneys don't try every argument possible, they're not doing their job, right? So none of this surprises me, because you do have to explore every avenue. It is Rkelly's attorney's job not to take the government at their word. No, they're not supposed to. It is their job to say, let me check that. Let me double check that. Let me turn that stone over. Let me read that, turn that over. Yeah, it is their job to question every single thing. Now, whether we as a society at large should, I will not answer that question.
Okay, now would you say that you will not answer that question? You know, I want to make something very clear
work
here.
for the law right now. So
okay, I understand, but I want to make something very clear as it pertains to the adversarial roles, and I agree with you. A lot of things you said on here tonight, I totally agree with you. But I want to make something very clear. We are all human beings with our own precepts, concepts. We have our positions on matters as human beings. And I think that it is, with all due respect, somewhat disingenuous, not intentionally. You're not being intentionally disingenuous, but I think that it should be spoken that as you speak about Rkelly, as you speak about this case, that you do, while I would agree that you are offering legal information that is legally sound, I would think that in the interest of informing the listeners, that it would be absolutely prudent of you to admit that you have your own personal slant as you offer your commentary. Is that absolutely true or not?
I have to laugh at what you just said, because I'm trying to figure out why that would be relevant. And here's why. If the information I'm sharing is legally sound, and I have not mentioned my personal opinion, what would be the relevance of my personal opinion? I'm not a presiding judge over Rkelly's case, meaning his life and limb isn't based on any type of bias from me, right? I'm not an attorney involved in his case. Yes, I'm an attorney, but not in any of his active matters. So I'm not really seeing what the relevance is. And if you go to my channel, you know that I make great efforts not to do that. And the reason is that I stepped into this space as a teacher. And my goal is to empower people with information for them to think for themselves.
Yes, ma'am.
Not to impose my opinion. So no, I will not share my opinion. And if you think that makes me, I don't know, whatever you think it makes me, then you're welcome to think that.
Well, and I hopefully you're not offended. What I'm saying is that as you offer your opinion, my daughter, she's a very young lady, and she is headed to law school, and I'm a dude from the streets who just basically, I'm a street dude, but I've trained my daughter to use her own mind. When you ask the question, what does it matter? Whenever we speak, it matters in a sense that when a professor, I'll give you an example, when a professor stands before a class, which they often do, and they teach as professors, I think you would agree that if you were to ask the Republicans, the conservatives, the alt-right, they will tell you that the world of academia, most colleges in America, those professors who teach the citizenry, our children, who influence those young minds who are going to go out into the world and exercise their own free thought, those professors come from a more liberal slant. So if the professor is liberal, if the professor is pro-choice as opposed to anti-abortion, if a professor has a more liberal leaning or a liberal agenda, he or she is going to disseminate information coming from their minds, coming from their hearts, that's going to be slanted. So I think, once again, with all due respect, that you're being somewhat disingenuous to say, well, what does it matter? If I asked you about
She's
a traffic...
being real as she can be.
Please allow me to
That's
finish.
just what it is, Levi. You can't be
Please,
mad
listen.
at the
No.
things she be saying.
Real,
Bro, come on
listen.
now.
Real.
I just said that
speaking the truth,
I
man.
respect her opinion, Miss Diva. But this is the problem with YouTube. When someone comes on and offers an intellectual counterpoint.
Yeah, but
Now, Miss Esquire, you said a minute ago, 3 minutes ago, you said your position was very interesting. I'm speaking to Miss Esquire. Have you perceived or viewed anything that I've said since I've been on here as being blah 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 or just idle conversation? Yes or no?
Alrighty, so I don't think that anything you've said is quote unquote idle conversation. I think you're making a point, but again, I don't think the point is relevant to this conversation. Wait, hold on. You spoke, so now let me speak.
Yeah, let her speak.
As I've already said, I step into this arena to teach. Now, when you gave the professor on a campus example, yes, there are moments in which professors impose their opinions and their political beliefs. And can I tell you, they're not supposed to. It's in almost every code of conduct in all of these universities. I know it's hard to believe, but they're not supposed to. They're supposed to teach impartially.
Okay. Let's move on. For one,
thank you, Levi.
As human beings, we're all impartial. We all have our own prejudices, and that's fine. You're right. They're not supposed to. So we'll leave it there. I'm not going to challenge you on that. Now, I'm going to ask you this. What we're discussing here, and I'll say this on behalf of my cousin, that a lot of his arguments...
You're taking up the whole panel, though.
Yeah, right.
Okay, that's fine. Listen. I'll tell you what then. Listen, I'll be quiet.
Make your point, and then
No.
I'll let
Listen.
and keep speak after, okay?
I'll say this. You could put me on a timer, or you could just take me off the panel, or I'll be quiet. But it's very...
Say your point, and then
but listen to me.
That's all.
Okay, that's fine. But it's very interesting to me that when you try to develop your points and really get down to the matter of things...
Okay, you be running in circles, bro. Get straight to the point.
Listen, ask Miss Esquire, have I run in circles in anything I've said to her?
Levi, stop.
No. I have not. I've been direct, and I've been... See, here's the deal, Miss Diva, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna leave.
Diva, this is the problem. This it's just...
No. Here's the problem.
Let him speak.
Allow me to speak. We have sat for 3 years reading motions, for 3.5 years, reading transcripts, reading judges' responses, reading paperwork But when someone like myself, who is intellectually minded, try to articulate his or her points, now all of a sudden you're taking too much time. Miss Esquire has.
Hold on. The reason why I'm saying that is because Miss Esquire is pushing for time. So
I understand and I respect
we
that.
only have her here for a little while. So make your point and your statement short so that the next person can speak. That's all.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Here it is, Miss Esquire.
That's all I'm saying.
What we're dealing with here is witness tampering. Now, you've already offered your position and everyone heard your position. I'm going to ask you now, and I'm asking people to let's put the shoe on the other foot. I speak with my cousin Robert often. If I were to speak with one of his witnesses or potential witnesses who were 100% geared towards testifying against him, just as Rkelly was geared towards testifying for him. If I were to use his emails, our conversations, our recordings to influence one of those witnesses who appeared on Lifetime, who were 100% geared to testify against him, and I used his private information to meet with them, give that information to them and say, I told you he loves you. And that witness said, you know what? You're right, Levi. I'm not going to testify against him. Miss Esquire, you know, and I know that I will be charged with witness tampering because I took emails that were private. I took conversations that were private and I used them for my own personal reasons and for my cousin's benefit, for Rkelly's benefit. I would be charged with witness tampering because the prosecutors would say, wait a minute, this person was poised and ready to testify against Rkelly. What happened? Well, what happened was Levi took his information, took it to that individual, and changed that individual's mind. Would you agree or disagree with what I just said?
I've already spoken on privacy for an inmate, and that statement stands. Prosecution and law enforcement operate as one arm during an investigation and during a trial, and I've already discussed privacy in terms of an inmate. Now, what I will discuss now is federal witness tampering. Okay, it's in the U.S. Code. It's Chapter 18, Section 1512. Tampering with a witness, victim, or informant. Let's talk about what that is, because if we're going to accuse people of witness tampering, which is a federal crime, let's talk about what it is. Okay, so it's either killing or attempting to kill a person to prevent them from testifying, to prevent them from producing a record or a document, or to prevent them from communicating with law enforcement. Okay. It's also using physical force or threatening physical force to attempt to influence, delay, or prevent their testimony, or to cause them to withhold their testimony or anything related to it, right? Or to alter their testimony in any way, or to evade the legal process, or to cause them to be absent from the process, right? So if someone showed a young lady emails and phone calls, and she then decided to appear at trial on behalf of the prosecution, and she answered questions propositioned to her in a truthful manner, that is not under the umbrella of the definition of witness tampering. Now, if for some reason a witness said things that are incorrect, she skewed her testimony somehow, and she said things that are false, first of all, that witness then hypothetically perjured herself, right? And second of all, yes, you do have some issue with the prosecutors tampering with that witness if the information provided was false. But if the truth was told in court and none of those things that I just read happened, it is not witness tampering. And Levi, for someone who's dated lawyers and says you, I think, worked in law, for you to get online and accuse prosecutors of witness tampering like that, I'm very surprised.
Well, first of all, you never heard me, if you play the tape back, ever accuse a prosecutor of witness tampering.
Okay.
This is what.
Okay, it wasn't.
See, I can't. She just accused me, but I can't respond.
Let me explain. It wasn't a prosecutor, Miss Esquire. He's accusing YouTube blogger of switching her mind because she shared the information with the parent.
Oh, wow. Now you've added an additional step. So now what you're saying is that a member of the public cannot speak to a witness in a case because
Okay. First of all,
that witness
you just said I added an additional step, which means you're trying to validate. No, you said it's not additional. I've never accused. Listen, I never accused a prosecutor. I never. No. See, I'm going to leave because you listen.
Right now.
I'm going to leave because you all cannot deal with the truth.
Levi, slow down, Levi. That's all. Just slow down. Slow down.
You don't have a conversation. You just it's a one-way conversation.
No, you can't deal with me.
No, I can deal with you. I just
guys,
want to have a conversation, not a speech.
Right. Slow down, Levi. You're getting angry. Slow down. That's all I'm saying, Levi. Slow down.
She came with the false premise that I accused the prosecutors of witness tampering. We cleared that up. Okay, stop. Okay, now, after it was cleared up, she said, now you add an additional, meaning that the first premise was true. No, it's not an additional. It is the initial accusation that Tasha K and Jane Doe number 5's parent or parents engaged in witness tampering. For one, let me say this and I'll be quiet. For
Right,
two,
that's your argument.
yes, for two, the scenario that I gave her as it pertains to me, if I were to prevent using his emails, absconded emails and communications, prevent a witness from testifying, she discounted what I said, but used the definition that was totally what I said, that I would be charged with witness tampering.
The definition in the law. Hold on, everyone.
Wait.
Let me first say this because people in the chat are saying, everyone keep your cool. First of all, I'm not upset. I don't think Levi is. I think for some reason he's just yelling. I don't know why. But Levi, point out to me where in the code that I read, what in that code do you think applies to Tasha K?
Okay. You said in the code that you read, to prevent
them from testifying, meaning to prevent them from showing up. Levi, come on.
Okay. Hold on. Listen. You said to prevent. You also said to influence. If you read it, matter of fact, read it again. Specific. Let's read it again.
We're gonna read it again. I'm gonna go to where it says influence.
Please.
Okay. So now it does say that if someone knowingly uses intimidation, they threaten them, or they corruptly persuade, which in other words means that they lie to them, right?
No.
Law enforcement can do that. Law enforcement can do that, but we're not talking about law enforcement.
No.
Or corruptly persuades another person or attempts to do so. No to what did I just said, Levi? Well, what is the no? I'm reading directly from the law.
You said corruptly persuades.
I'm reading the law directly.
Excuse me,
Miss.
Let's deal with it with all due respect. Listen, Miss.
Yeah, but you're saying no to the law, Levi.
I'm telling you what the law. The law validated my position for one.
Okay,
but
She's the licensed lawyer, Levi.
Listen, the law. Listen, Miss Esquire, the law you just read validated my position for one. For
I'm not gonna argue with you no more. You go on ahead.
I'm not arguing. Listen, Miss Esquire, Miss Esquire. Let's deal with what you just read for one. I have a very
Wait, Levi. Hold up. Slow down. Say what you're gonna say. Be nice. Don't scream and yell. Let's keep it at a minimum.
This is not getting anywhere. I was trying to tell you to read the chat. This is not getting anywhere. This is just going to be, you said this. It's becoming argumentative. And I was trying to tell you, read the chat. It's just people it's your listeners is starting to get irritated right now. I'm just keeping it real.
You know what? The listeners need to understand that Levi is trying to go against the law. And we have a real lawyer here who knows about the law, who can explain it in layman's terms so that Levi can understand that his cousin's emails that are private between him and his girlfriends don't mean jack, and they will go nowhere. Period.
We gonna say
Right.
that to him in the face, and he's gonna still keep arguing.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We love Levi over here. It's okay.
Y'all love Levi for whatever. I don't. But anyways, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say on my end. Okay.
Listen.
I want to make the statement. Okay. This whole emails bullcrap was already brought up in 2020 motions. I was trying to be patient here and look up which motion when he tried to bring up in his bail motions. Motions about this whole thing. Even a fan wrote a letter in 2020 about these damn emails about Larry Turner, Azriel, and all that. This was all brought up in 2020. And
yes, in 2020.
Esquire said just moments ago, the lawyers are going to grasp for every straw in the book. And that's why people like Levi and the rest of those super fans, they're going to sit up there and just going to keep, this is why they're getting tired out now. They're grasping at everything. Because if this man was so-called fighting for his life, people who fight for their life won't wait until after trial it happens. They will do any and everything to fight for their innocence. He didn't do that. He instead manipulated his best friends. And now he manipulates super fans so much to the fact that people already deleted their channels. Because now they see it's bullshit. It's a waste of time to go back and forth over something that was already brought up before the trials even started. He brought this whole email, that BOP email stuff, this Tasha K stuff. It all happened in 2020. And I am just not understanding why somebody would dare to argue with an individual who has not only the degrees, but the credentials to practice law and try to tell them what the law is and not. The person who passed the bar and the person who probably didn't even have a high school degree try to tell a person who has a Juris Doctorate on what the law is. And that's why a lot of us is getting so irritated right now, because she said it in plain black and white. And most of the stuff she's saying, Google is your best friend. People can find the stuff on Google. But when you have people that want to sit there and justify what this pedophile has done, they want to sit there and play mental gymnastics and wordplay and all the stupidness that they're talking. And it's like, the emails are not relevant. It's what we got to write it in crown for people to understand. It's not relevant. People who sit up there playing mental gymnastics knows that this man is guilty. There's no justification. I don't care about what parents sit or whatnot. He is guilty. The 12 jurors, both in Chicago, both in New York, they have saw the transcripts, read every word of the transcripts, done heard the people on the stand, done heard the prosecutor side, the defense side. They saw the videos, they heard the audio. That's what got them a guilty verdict, not from YouTube videos about who is legally astute. If you ain't got a Juris Doctorate, you can't talk about you legally astute. Now we'll go up mute.
If I may respond, Ms. Diva. If I may respond.
Yes.
Can I respond?
Yes, Levi, you can.
Thank you. For one, Ms. Keith, I guarantee you, if we had a jury of 12 attorneys who were listening to my and Miss Esquire's exchange, they would agree with Levi, for one. For two,
are you kidding me? No. I am going to stop you there. I am going to stop you there because you are being disrespectful towards me.
Yes, two attorneys here.
Yes, you are.
Me, my credentials, and my education. I'm going to stop you there, Diva. I'm going to head on out. I know you want Levi.
Oh, man, I didn't get a chance to talk to you.
No, I've been respectful. I've been professional, but that is a absolute no that you're going to disrespect my education and my license back.
I didn't even get a chance to talk to you. That's unfortunate.
Esquire, he's gone.
I'm an attorney as well.
Esquire,
Oh,
Miss
he's gone.
Esquire,
Okay, so I'll remain. But there was
I
no
dropped
way
him down, Miss
that I was going to
Esquire.
remain through that. There was no way. This man is literally saying that my education credentials and license are invalid, is what he's saying.
He does the same thing to me.
I'm very respectful, and I allow people to ask questions, but that is not a question. That is outright disrespect that he does not lodge against a white male attorney sitting here.
So he does the same thing to me. That's what he does.
So I'm not doing that. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if anything, Miss Esquire is not showing bias from my point of view, because I'm extremely biased in this matter, even though I'm an attorney. I unequivocally support the victims, and I think there's horrific acts here by the defendant. And I think Ms. Esquire to say, oh, you never know, there might be, some chance with the BOP email thing, is being extremely generous and extremely objective, because not only was this issue already shot down in law and motion work during the trial phase, but an appellate court's not going to care. They're going to say, okay, this is pimp stuff. That's how they're going to think about it. Maybe they're not going to think about it exactly that way, but they're going to say, why do I care that some emails got leaked that made girlfriends mad, when we're talking about a defendant who did such horrible stuff? The evidence against him is overwhelming. There's been no kind of prejudicial error that would warrant a new trial or reversal. It's the standard review is going to be an abuse of discretion type of view. A judge didn't abuse any discretion. We're talking about the executive branch, so you're asking an Article 3 court to take control over an Article 2 sub-entity, the BOP. They're not going to do that just because you're mad about some girlfriends getting mad, or what he calls girlfriends. But the courts don't even view them as girlfriends; they view them as victims. So good luck with that. That's going to be disregarded.
Remember what Judge Linenweber was saying, which we thought was all crazy, how he considered the stuff that Rkelly went through in Chicago, that it was about love.
Yeah, but who cares what he said? He gave him 20 years.
Right.
So he said that, but he gave him 20 years. So at the same time he said that, he gave him 20 years.
Yeah, I still don't think that was cool of the judge.
Yeah, I don't either, but we're talking about an old-fashioned judge. A lot of the appellate attorneys are not going to be like 100 years old. Most of them are going to be middle-aged.
Right.
And they're going to be very and highly intelligent attorneys, most of them. So it's just not going to happen. The BOP is irrelevant. I say go for it. Have at it, Haas. Send all the letters out. Waste all the time in the world on it. I personally love it because it's a beautiful distraction from focusing on other potential issues in the cases. So I say go for it. Go for it. And Levi should just talk about it like in 10,000 videos and waste all of his time. That sounds great.
So Miss Esquire, Rkelly now wants all his supporters to write the BOP and to write these letters stating how...
Right to the DOJ. Right to the DOJ.
Oh, the DOJ. That's what it was, the DOJ. And how he feels that he was railroaded by this BOP officer and his trial. And Bonjean is allowing that the people write the DOJ.
I'm really surprised to hear that Bonjean is allowing that. I mean, I think that shocks me more than anything else. It doesn't shock me that Rkelly would ask supporters to do that, but it does shock me that his attorney would say, yeah, that's a good idea.
It's okay, right?
It's very odd to me because, first of all, she should understand the process enough to know that those letters do not legally mean anything. They won't amount to any legal sway. And she should also actually want the public to stay out of this as much as possible. So very interesting to me that she's behind that, or agreeing to that, I should say, because I don't know if it was her idea.
Esquire, it wasn't her
It
idea.
was not her
It was
idea.
not her idea. It was another super fan's idea. And
Another
also,
blogger out here who's supposed to be R. Kelly's nutritionist back in the day.
Yeah, when you have a case that involves minor victims, you usually want the public to stay out of it, right? Because more than likely, the public isn't happy with you. People don't like to hear that you allegedly did something to a minor. So interesting to me that she would in any way at all, first of all, tell him that it's okay to be on YouTube panels. Whoa, that one blows my mind. And then second, this letter thing. What?
Yeah, they had a whole website about this whole letter.
Yes, a whole website.
And this was also initiated by the same woman who was telling the super fans, because I don't call them supporters, told the super fans to go under these ladies' social media, calling them informants, go call their jobs or any brands, or it's like they've been doing this for 4 years, and it's just crazy. And I'm not getting that they sat here and throughout this whole process did nothing but bash the victims that was a part of this case. And it has just gotten so ugly. And then what she actually said in her tweet was, Mr. Kelly is our client, but we also support his right to express himself about this injustice.
Right.
I don't even know about what the hell injustice is and all this other bullshit, but like someone said, she's not promoting the letter writing. Yeah, that go to comments. She's not promoting the letter writing, but that was promoted by the same woman who has been bashing the victims for 4 years, and that has put Larry, a good friend of ours that had been mentioned in these motions. That's the woman that started the whole thing, and now it has fallen apart, and everybody started to see that it's bullshit. It's crazy. I don't know.
Well, I agree with you that it's an unorthodox idea. As SpongeBob pointed out, I try my hardest to be super nice about everything. And I appreciate that SpongeBob Steve mentioned that I say things from a very, very, as I'm always saying, I'm trying my hardest to be nice, to give leverage, to be impartial, because I want to be in the mode of teaching. That's my whole goal. And I have to address what happened a little while ago. I just wanted to give it a second. I really hope that I was not combative. I don't think I was, but I have to draw a line somewhere. You know, even in wanting to teach and wanting to be open to everyone, I have to draw the line somewhere. You guys, I come onto YouTube and you see my face. You see that face on the screen? That's my face. I don't come on here and use like a random symbol that you can't trace back to anywhere. This face here is my face. You go onto my YouTube channel, it is my name, not some made up name. Do you get the point that I'm trying to make? Right? So when I come on here and say I'm teaching the law, I am telling you who I am. So to have someone come onto the panel and totally disrespect me like that, it just doesn't make sense. Because if I wanted to play games with you all, I'd put an avatar up and not give you my name.
Well, you know, a lot of us hide because some of these supporters are downright psychotic. You know, they'll dox you, stalk you. You know, we've heard someone go to someone's workplace. So that's why. I mean, I even used to have my photo on here too, but you know, I got a family and stuff.
Yeah, no, I understand. I wasn't calling you out, by the way. I just want to say that. I was just making the point of it doesn't make sense for someone like Levi to approach me like that.
Well, he does the same thing to me. You know, like
he gets very emotional about his cousin.
He'll attack anything he can that has nothing to do with the case. So he's attacked my credentials as an attorney. He's basically said they don't matter. He attacked me based on my race. You know, like I mean, I can get along with him most of the time, but you know, I just think sometimes he needs to chill out a little bit and just try to have more of a conversation instead of just make it like
He
a
always talks about us getting emotional when it comes
yeah.
to the victims and what we speak about with Rkelly, but he never
Uh,
gets emotional. He always gets emotional. Stop.
well, I mean,
And
with
I'm
all due
sorry about that,
respect,
Mr. Esquire, that
with
he,
all due
you
respect, the
know,
victims matter more.
right, that
I,
he was like that with you. That was totally uncalled for. But
and
I'm
please,
glad you set
and,
his ass straight.
and Diva, please understand that I wasn't telling you what to do with Raymond. Hold up, Sponge. Okay, because that was distracting me. I just want you to understand, Diva. I wasn't like when I was explaining when I had to cut in because I'm looking at the chat and people was getting very agitated and irritated with them, and it was at this point like he was basically again.
Sorry, I walked off the screen for a minute, so I
Yeah.
wasn't on the screen.
Okay. I wasn't trying to come. I just want to let you know I wasn't trying to come at you like all crazy about that. But people was really getting irritated by him, and he does that. He does that.
Yeah, we know that he does that.
You said, and the Power Esquire, as many times we have all been interacting with her, is very professional when she is
Right.
when she's educating us. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. She's
very
very.
well
I'm more of a
spoken.
ratchet, like attorney.
Yes.
Yeah, very well spoken.
But she's
That's
she's
why
more
I
eloquent.
love her professionalism. I wish when I grew up, I could be just like her one day, you know. So yes, she empowers me, and I love that she empowers all of us. And of course, I would never want anyone to disrespect her. I'm sorry that happened. Levi just,
He's disrespectful. No,
right.
he's disrespectful. He's
That's
very
why I took him down.
disrespectful.
I did take him down.
And-
Like I said, I stepped off the screen
Yes.
for a quick hot minute. I came back and I took him down.
Like right now, he has a live coming up, which is not surprising. So predictable. Oh, my message is to Diva, Larry, and Okov. Larry's not on this panel. Okov is not. I mean, well, got SpongeBob and you, but
Is he what? He just put up a live? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, hell no.
Yes.
Oh my God. Is he really in that much of his feelings? Lord have mercy.
Oh, sorry about the noise, by the way. That's my son is playing video games.
And
Oh,
not only
okay.
that, and not only that,
Just mute yourself. Yeah.
we have been accused of getting into our feelings all because we talk like this. What we're doing is not getting into. We have been focusing on the case. That's it. That's all. When we first started following this 4 years ago, we stood just with the case. And instead of the super fans painters to their movement, they want to come and attack us because we don't agree with their stance. I mean, like, keep it moving. Like, my name was mentioned in the live today. You still, like, who cares? Listen, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I pay for this internet. I got freedom of speech, just like they got freedom of speech, which they always want to show. But to come on a panel and be disrespectful to somebody who has credentials, and I'm pretty sure they in the background went and looked up her bar association number, because that's the type of shit that they do. They can't handle the truth. They can't handle that their favorite position is a pedophile. That sounds like
hold up, guys, hold on. Breaking news here.
What?
I just got a screenshot from Bonjean. Texas Black Diamond had put something up 2 hours ago. Bonjean had put up a post and said, Bonjean Law Group supports appropriate efforts to hold the BOP responsible for misconduct against Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kelly is our client, but we also support his right to express himself about the injustice. We also support those who want to communicate their demand for justice to the BOP.
So they're basically saying they've got nothing for the appeal. This is my interpretation, okay? Because lawyers are a bunch of lying scum, okay? So
Boom.
My interpretation of the truth is that what they're basically saying is they don't think they have anything good for an appeal, so they might actually try to buy into this line of BS and be open and receptive to it. And that's fine. If the attorneys want to focus on BOP nonsense and get their appeal decimated, that works. I mean, the victims will be vindicated even further, and that's great.
Wow. So, Miss Esquire, what you think about that little note?
Yet again, I will say I am extremely surprised. I will say one thing about Attorney Bongine. She never lets me down in the surprise arena. Like she
Wow.
always surprises me. So I'm very surprised. But I will say this as well. Attorneys are also trying to please their clients. This is all hypothetical, right? So it could be possible that a client could really, really, really want to speak out, really, really, really want to do something. The attorney could think that it's not the best idea, but ultimately the attorney could say, you know what, I'll allow for some leverage on it because you feel so strongly about it. Because at the end of the day, a client can fire an attorney, right?
Right.
So
Yep.
I will leave that there.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Been there many times. Fortunately, not in a case with this kind of gravity. You know, most of my career was as a business litigator, and currently I'm in corporate law in-house counsel. But you know, yeah, I mean, even as a litigator, like clients want certain things sometimes, and you don't necessarily agree with it, but you give them a little bit of a leash. So that could be, yeah, I mean, if we want to look at this in a favorable light to Bonji, maybe that's what she's doing. She's saying, okay, I hate these
she's
stupid,
working pro bono.
maybe saying, I hate these stupid fucking letters and this stupid fucking BOP fucking bullshit. But, you know, my client, I'm just going to let him do some of this stuff because, you know, he's my client, and I'm going to cave a little
freedom
bit.
of speech.
Yeah. I mean, it's more about pleasing the client, though. I mean, like, you know, because even though this is pro bono, it's high profile for her, and at least for now, she wants to stay with the case.
Well, thank you, Miss Esquire, for coming on. Thank you, SpongeBob and Keep, for coming up here and helping me out with the panel. I love you guys. Thank you so much, Miss Esquire, for your wise knowledge of the law and breaking it down over here always. And I'm sorry about Levi, honey. Don't worry. We always punch Levi in the face. We're going to get him for you.
Oh no need to. No need to hurt him like that. It's all good. You know, I'm not even offended by it. It's just that I have to have boundaries. You know,
He's
I
all
get
barking.
it, mommy. You gotta stick up for yourself no matter what.
I can't be a doormat. You know what I mean? Because
exactly,
people walk all over you.
Exactly.
That's
right.
how
you're supposed to do it.
That's right. That's why you're a lawyer, girl.
Yeah. What kind of law do you practice, by the way, real quick?
So I'm similar to you, Steve. I used to be a litigator. I don't do as much litigating now. I do more corporate law, commercial law, contracting, and like in-house legal advising.
Hey, similar paths.
Yes.
How about that?
Look at what Queen said. She said Bongine is not getting paid, so she don't.
Exactly. And it took them a long time to figure that out. Let's see.
Wow. So, yes. Empowered Esquire, wow, you're pretty. Your picture is simply gorgeous. Thank you for blessing us with your presence, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. She is beautiful. God bless her.
Thank you. I'm gonna head out, everyone. It's been a pleasure. Diva,
yes,
you know I love you. Also, love you all as well. Nice meeting you, Steve, and see you all later.
Nice meeting you too.
Take care.
Love you guys. Thank you, Miss Esquire. All right, so guys, you see, Miss Esquire, let it be known. Fuck Levi.
And he's actually like one of the tamest ones on that side.
Well, I can't believe he was trying to go after her credentials. Like, listen, you're not a good lawyer because you're saying this and you're saying that. You're being biased, and she's speaking on both sides, and she's speaking the truth. What the hell you want her to do?
Yeah,
Giving
she
her
was being
honest
pretty
opinion.
neutral, objective.
Her analysis, right?
Yeah, I mean, she wasn't being biased like I am.
She was she was being ethical. She
Right.
like people asked her the questions and she told them what the law is.
Right.
These people, like people from that side, they just want people to tell them what they want to hear. And then when it's going against the grain with them and they think that they know better when they don't know anything, when they see how shit just turns out against whatever they was talking about, they wind up with the eggs on the face. They wound up looking stupid. Now look, they looking stupid right now.
Look, the bottom line is Levi doesn't understand jack shit about the law. Okay,
Exactly,
let's be
right.
honest here. He
Exactly.
understands two things about the law.
We don't
jack
know
and
out
shit.
here. We're not lawyers. We're just learning. Everybody out here is learning.
I've tried to be patient and stuff, but I'm just gonna just
I
say
was too.
he doesn't know jack shit about the law. He understands like
Thank you,
I don't
Jackie.
know how to make like some weird philosophical arguments or whatever, but that's not what matters in court. What matters in court is the law and the evidence.
Right.
Applying the law to the evidence.
They
So
put it out there that the dude was a Grammy Award winning singer and stuff. He still got found guilty. Okay? The fact is he committed a crime. This is not no political prisoner. He ain't do shit for politics. Okay, what he sent money. Look, everybody can send money. He did not do shit for his own city. Nothing. Okay? I don't care what funerals he paid for. He built a community center. No. But he was showing up at those high schools. He was with the girls. Yeah, and boys.
That he did. Definitely. Yes, guys, don't forget to hit that like button. Please.
I have never seen anyone in my life defend pedophile so strongly and fiercely. Why do they want? I mean, my gosh, I don't. The morality of it is just so weird to me.
Right, it's the weirdest shit.
These people took out loans, y'all. They took out loans. They don't care if their family don't fuck with them for supporting this dude.
Right.
I'm just.
I heard that Spittin' and
Sylvia
are leaving the sector, huh?
Yeah,
they fake their deaths just like Denise. They'll be back.
Give another motion to come out or something. Man, I don't blame them. You know what I mean? Especially Sylvia, because she's like really put her heart and soul into everything, and
well, here it was with her.
She's
well,
she's tired of it.
Well, here it is with her. She has that case with Hollywood Next in Chicago right now.
Oh, right.
And people who were there that witnessed when her lawyer contacted them, she was like, the lawyer said they acted like they didn't want to come out and be a witness for her. And that's what I'm saying. They have no loyalty at all on that side with each other. Because that's how they do each other. Like, y'all, like, as much as we say something about Sylvia, we know she's innocent situation. She ain't going to smack nobody. You know what I mean?
Right.
But for them to not at least want to stand up for her, that's how
Tú sabes, lo gente, they talk a lot of shit. It's just what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. And I mean,
that's like, look at George Jefferson over there. He put up a whole GoFundMe que he needs $5,000, right? And what he got, 500?
And not one supporter over there tried to help raise money, then put his GoFundMe in their chats, nothing. That's messed up. That's messed up. Like, y'all have went out and did all these protests with each other, and
that's why I said, you know what? They complained all these years about us not doing anything for the victims. Why? We don't need to do shit. but give them support. And that's the same exact thing that they were supposed to do. Just sit back and give the man support.
That's it.
But they want to get involved. They want to be put in motions. They want to be put in documentaries. They want to take pictures with him. They want to do interviews. They want to get phone calls. They want to give their daughters to him. They want to do all types of shit.
Take pictures with his family, fuck his family.
Come on, man. This is bendito.
Y'all slept with the man's brother. Okay, we don't even need to put it out there. Y'all was supposed to put it out there. That's not come from us. That was y'all. Y'all slept with his friends. Y'all put that on y'all YouTube channels. Y'all said who was sleeping with Carrie, who was sleeping with Keith, and who was trying to sleep with Will Edie. That was not us.
Right. This is all we were doing. We are here to support the victims, period, and correct these dumb motherfuckers slandering them. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, I'm here.
Talk about the case and slander Rkelly. That's what we were here for, to make fun of Rkelly.
Yeah, we can support the victims on social media. That's enough. The prosecution is the main one seeking justice. What are we supposed to do? We can't prosecute him.
That's what we was doing. Then they start coming into our mentions and DMs. Some bitch, shut the fuck up. I'm gonna pull up on you and all this other craziness.
Right. Start doxing people. Look at what the prima donna. I can't even believe she made a whole post about me and took a picture of me and put it on her community wall.
Sure did.
She compared me to Ursula. Really? What?
From Little Mermaid?
From the Little Mermaid, Papi. Yes, she did. Boo! I kid you not. Okay. And then she puts up the prettiest picture of me. And she let everybody know how pretty I was, because that's what I think she did. And she looked like a fool at the end of the day. Like, I'm confused. You're mad because I called you a flying monkey? If the shoe fucking fits, bitch, because I wasn't talking about you. But if you feel you a flying monkey, and if you feel that you a puppet of Rkelly's, and if you feel these ways and the shoe fits, then bitch, walk on by. I mean, why you getting mad at me?
She has even put my old Twitter page in her video. Spitting Fire did a live about my Twitter page. Like, get the hell on. That's my opinion. Like, go somewhere.
And she promoted my Twitter. Yo, Larry, hit the link, bro. Hold up. Let me throw out a link. They're
worried about us and asking us why we didn't raise money for the victims. Like, first of all, why are you worrying about? Why is it that they worry about every little thing we do over here? Like, they worry about every comment that we leave in chats. When I put in chats, I say Rkelly is guilty. I don't at nobody on anything. Now these days I don't do that. Here they come. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Listen to me. My comments are not for you, beloved. It's not for you. If I want to say he's guilty, I can say that.
Right.
I have a mouth and I pay for this internet.
Right. I can do whatever the fuck I want. ¿Y qué pasó? And what happened? Why
they going live? Why they gotta be live so many hours? Mind your fucking business. Damn.
I mean, why the fuck? What? We go live and we could make it short. We could make it long. We could make it super long. Whatever the fuck we want. I'm confused. What is the problem? What is the problem? Yes, and happy Women's International Women's Day, guys. God bless all of you ladies out there.
Why do we need to raise money for the big? Highlight Tia's comments.
Right. Why do we need to raise money for the victims? That's not what we're here for. The victims seem to be all working. Rkelly owes them for the mental and abuse and the herpes he passed around. Facts. We don't owe them nothing. All we need to do is give them support, and they love us for giving them that support. That's
Why-
it. That's
Why
all.
they so busy worrying about what the victims are doing?
What's
Why
up,
don't y'all
Larry?
go and raise money for George Jefferson? Go and do a protest. Why don't y'all go and fly out to Chicago to support Sylvia in her case against Hollywood Next? Why don't y'all do that instead of worrying about what's over here?
Right.
What is the allegation there? I'm confused. Is it that Sylvia slapped Hollywood Next is the allegation, or that she pushed her to the floor?
She
Which
slapped
one is
her
it?
and knocked her down to the floor.
Oh, it's both. Okay.
Kind of wish she did, but hey.
Right. She slapped the bitch so hard that she fell on the floor, basically.
But we don't know if that actually happened or not, right?
No,
It didn't happen. It didn't happen.
it didn't happen.
It
There was
didn't happen.
cameras there that saw Hollywood.
Well, yeah,
and
Hollywood's
this
a big
and that
time
and
pathological
third and-
liar. So.
yeah.
But for y'all not to sit up there and scrape up y'all coins and at least be a witness for this woman, y'all, I'll tell you, those people
Y'all
are
some
a
foul-
piece of shit. Y'all some foul motherfuckers.
Word up. And that's not even my frame.
Yeah, but that's fine. Like right is right and wrong is wrong. Listen, way back when Pat.
Larry, we can't hear you if you're trying to talk, papi.
Larry, the Me Too came.
Yeah, the Me Too King. Yeah, something's going on with his mic. Go back out and come back in, bro.
Now?
Yes.
Yeah, we hear you now.
Go back out and come back in, bro.
Yeah, we hear you now.
Yes.
All right.
We hear you.
Well,
No, Larry, we can hear you, but I think you gotta turn off. I think you gotta turn off the YouTube in your background.
I got YouTube on in my background.
It's an
Hold on.
No, you sound really low.
Okay, hold on. Hold up. Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Y'all should be able to hear me now. What up?
What's up, bro? How you doing? I saw you live. Yo, great live, bro. Great live. See, this is the shit that I was trying to explain to everybody. Azriel had been left Rkelly way before those emails came out. I don't understand how these dum-dums are not following the fucking timeline. These idiots.
He came on channels because I heard you playing him earlier.
Yes.
And he wants to know why his girlfriend left.
Right.
It was his fault that she left.
Right.
He's the one that started playing games between them, which ultimately made his victim exit. Again.
For real.
She was going to Chicago for something else. She was not going to Chicago to meet with the government. She was going to Chicago. Actually, she left here and went to California.
Right. You
and
said
she
California.
left California and went to Chicago. She was in Chicago for 2 days. Her meeting with a film producer had nothing to do with me. But dummy, when she went back, moved his other victim into somewhere. And then she returned with the fucking linebacker and picked a fight.
Right.
The fight ensued, and that's what made her say, you know what?
Yep.
I'm fucking you up.
Right.
So your letters, based upon what he wants to know, he already knows the answer to why she left and why she went to the government. And both of those things is his fucking fault. His fault. Because guess what? If he doesn't play games with the only fucking cash that they have to live on in Chicago, they don't call their parents. If they don't call their parents, then they don't get persuaded, however that went, to fucking leave. And he gets to have his captors destructing justice stay in the apartment. If he doesn't move Joycelyn and have her go over there with a goddamn bodyguard, then they don't get into a fight, which prompted the other situation.
That's what prompted her to cooperate, that fight.
She said it on video.
She sure did.
Yes, but by him not knowing the actual details or events or trying to ignore them. He subverted this stupid letter with his cook, just like everything else that they fucked up along the way. That is why you have them pushing this narrative, which is a lie, which can be debunked with text message records, photo records, everything. This lie can be debunked very easily because she didn't even tell me she was going to Chicago. She told Tim's daughter. She called her. I don't even know how the fuck she got her number. I don't have her number. She didn't want the parents to know. So, you know, this shit is over. The case is over. It's unfortunate that people shutting their channels down. They worked hard. They spent their money for their graphics and their intros and the outros. And some of these people traveled. Some of these people, like they said, they invested money. While I don't agree with anything that they do or anything probably that they talked about on their channel, it is very unfortunate that if I can be so invested in this man in his time of need that no one from that sector could be there for them in their time of need, that sucks. And even though I agree with everything, the emails, everything, when it comes to spitting fire, I do think that she had a level head with what she was talking about at some point 3 months ago, you know, but after a week of talking to the fucking cook, her channel is destroyed and she's walking away from it all. So,
she took out many of her profiles.
I tell you, I this flower pot, Ave Maria.
Well, the flower pot has a lot of influence. She's been in his ear. She's been in his ear.
She's skiing all day long. That's her influence, bro.
She's been in his ear for 4 years with no pacer. Imagine how much information we learned about this case from having pacer. I would not be able to give someone whose life was on the line sound advice without pacer. Do you think you'll be?
No, you have to know the case inside.
And Larry, and see, I was watching Sylvia's backup channel. Randa made the most sense. And
wow, I agreed with Randa.
Yes, she 100%. She said that woman is a manipulator, and when you don't do what she says, she will sit up there and cut you off and then start cussing you out. And that's what she did to a lot of people, you know, that was going out to those protesters and such. She was
the lawyers
always insult people. She insult the Bora chick all because she didn't give her court notes. Why you didn't travel your little raggedy sinus infection having ass over to New York and Chicago since you know so much and since you know the law and all this other stuff? But you want all those people that spent their own money, fundraised the money, did all the stuff, stayed up all day and all night doing commentary to give you all their hard work on your lap while you just sit behind a computer and assault.
And she did a live and she said, well, she did a video and she was like, what work? I was like, man, that lady raised money. That lady traveled. That lady went to court dates. That lady went to motion court dates. She went to the trial. She went to marches. She took her personal money.
She made copies of flyers and did a plane across from Brooklyn to Jersey. Like, what you know about?
She did a lot of shit.
Right.
What did you do? What did you do besides criticize other people? You won't show your face.
Wait, she also set up people to go to Washington to go get set up.
That was another one.
that was a hot mess.
A hot ass mess.
Let me tell you what she did. Let me tell you what she did. She got his first lawyers out of there. She ran off the people that were talking to those lawyers. She appointed the new lawyers. She made a video about this. She got Kanik hired. She was the liaison between him and his friend about his lawyer. She got him paid. She got the other lawyers pushed out. She cut off people who was raising money who really supported him. And then when that lawyer, I guess, blew up at the trial, and she did too, she talked about them, both of them, like a dog. Then she went back to his friend and got this lawyer fired. But then she coerced this lawyer into filing this motion on me that did not make any sense. It was not legally sound. It was no investigating it with no proof, basically defaming me and giving me more attack. And then after things didn't work out the way that she wanted with that lawyer, she attacked that lawyer so much to the point where that lawyer had to go on her channel and threaten to sue her. Now, as you see, 3 days that she came back and attacked the Bora Bora. She came back and attacked Dottie. Now she's attacking the Africans that created the goddamn website that is lying anyway.
Right. Right.
Then you turn right back around and the lawyer has to come out after all this time and basically tell you to stop spreading misinformation.
She did that before already. This is the second time she had to warn Sharon. Stop.
Then after all of that, after this man then lost his trial and pretrial motions, 47 uncharged acts, didn't ask the right questions. Koenig said in the transcripts that he do not have the work research detail. And I remember at the Curcio hearing,
he was
the
lost.
judge said, do not fire your lawyers, even if you might need them for research.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is in the transcripts.
It's in the transcripts. And he said that. But she wanted them gone because they would not cooperate and talk to her 24 hours.
They weren't talking to her. Exactly.
They wasn't talking to her. So they had to go. Now she got the new lawyers. They fucked it up. And remember when they stunk up the trial, she went away.
Yes, sure did.
She's never around when he lose. She's missing. So, I don't know. These people over there, they go, this time they standing up, but normally they go for stuff like that. And then what pisses me off is, and I know that these bloggers, these regular bloggers, they don't like me at all. But they all been around here fighting with me for 4 years. She has not been in the loop inside of that. All she does is make videos and attack people. No, she doesn't do any work. And I'm willing to ask the lawyer. It's common for us not to see her face or not to know who she is. But I'm willing to bet the lawyer haven't even seen her face. I'm willing to bet that the lawyer took advice from her and filed this shit in the Mecca of the world, the largest, the most, what they call it, the most.
Larry, you know what I think? I think it was Rkelly who brought up the whole BOP thing to his lawyer. Sharon Wimbush had no communication at all. It's just that she influenced Rkelly so much that Rkelly said, lawyer, I need you to look this up because this, that, and third, I just found out from one of my people that XYZ and blah, blah, blah. Please do something about this. And Bonjean was like, oh, well, you might be on something. Let's see if maybe this might stick. Okay.
I do you one better. Now that has happened before because we would say when Greenberg say he don't listen because he was accusing Greenberg of not filing certain motions or giving certain discovery and all this other nonsense. It was crazy.
Right.
So it could have been Tasha K. She came out and did a video and she said when she got this information where she got it from. Now, I know that the clout chasing cook seen that. And she went and took that information to him and his attorneys like, hey, this lady has your information. That might be a way for you to get out of sexually abusing minors for 30 years. We need to explore this. But the BOP lady, whatever they did, that is a violation against their employment. It's not has anything to do. His case started in 2019 going backwards before he was even in jail. He was indicted. So everything that the prosecution is presenting in court is from before he was arrested, going backwards, not forward, backwards.
Exactly.
He is attempting to get out of all of that by things that happened since he's been in jail, which would be a workplace violation, which would lead to termination, not fucking getting the same amount of time in prison as he's getting in prison. He's crazy. And it's not even the truth. It's not even the truth, because it's not about just getting everyone arrested for having access to his emails. It's about what he's saying the emails led his victim to getting out, like somebody slid her a key. And that's not the case. He caused those two events from playing games
Right.
with victims, what we would call coercion. What he was coercing them. Stay in the apartment. I'm gonna have somebody bring your food. I don't like this. Don't go nowhere. Don't do this. Don't do that. When he went to jail, those women started wearing clothes other than baggy fucking pants. And they start wanting to walk to the store. And they eventually start wanting to go and pick up food. And they eventually want to go get in the goddamn car.
Right.
And then since he had them in the house playing games with them against one another, so they would never talk about what the fuck are they doing here, he played one against the other with the goddamn money. And one got sick, and she called her fucking parents. And where it went from there, she ended up in fucking home. That's his fault. Because if he would have been a fucking real man and fucking, didn't do any of that dumb shit, he wouldn't be in this situation. But he's trying to blame somebody else for some shit that he sat on a BOP phone and played fucking games with his girlfriends, with his victims. And now his lawyer want to go and put me in the middle of that shit. I didn't have his fucking emails. And I didn't have to talk to nobody about what the fuck happened between his victims and him while he was in jail, because I had her tricked. I had tricked the shit out of her. When somebody told my trick, she told on me. What the stupidest
Rkelly.
Yeah. If it can happen to me, it can happen to you. Man, get the fuck out of here.
Yo, that line, I cannot. First of all,
go ahead.
First of all, it's his private emails between him and his girlfriends.
They're not his girlfriends, Diva. They're his victims.
This is what he's saying. I'm just going by what he's saying. My girlfriends, nigga. The judge and everybody else is not going to care about you and your girlfriend's conversations. What they're going to care about the violation of is your client privilege and the lawyers, your conversations between you and your lawyers. If things of that nature were being told to public and being sold or given to other people, that is a violation. That is a problem. But that is not the case. The case is your private emails between you and your girlfriends is the reason why your girlfriends fought. That's not the reason why you're in jail.
The jury didn't view them as girlfriends. They viewed them as kids. That's why he got 30 years.
They're victims. But Rkelly and his defense team are calling them girlfriends.
Yeah, but they're not.
They're not.
He's convicted. They were victims. That's why he's convicted.
Women are survivors. They're not even victims.
They're not no alleged victims or accusers neither. I hear you dumbasses over there talking.
Well, let me rephrase that. He victimized them and he was sentenced for it. So he out here talking about, oh man. So let's change out that word from just for about 5 minutes. Let's change it from girlfriends or victims. And now let's ask this question to the authorities. Hey, do you think you could investigate why my client's victims left him and went home to their parents? He wants to know because he was playing games with both of his victims. And He was playing them against each other, and someone leaked the information, and they found out. How the fuck does that sound?
That sounds cool to me.
Yes, very fucking cuckoo. And ain't nobody going to jail over somebody that's in jail.
Right.
How the hell free people going to jail for somebody that's in jail? Nobody violate his. I don't know if they violated his shit or not. You know, the government said that that lady accessed his emails a lot of time and she sent them to a
The
blog.
thing is, Larry, if she did do something wrong within the code of conduct of I forgot what it's called, within the policy of her work ethic, then she would have gotten arrested. But
Man,
she
and he's
didn't.
attacking these people, and he got to go into the belly of the beast. He got to go down there and deal with them. The ones that's in prison is gonna know exactly who he is and exactly what he's doing and everything he's doing on the phone. And I can tell you from experience,
Right.
they read your emails and they listen to
Everything.
your phone calls, and they all
Everything.
will throw your ass in the shoe for 6 months and take your phone away from you.
Right.
And he ain't gonna be on the phone like that all the time in no max prison or whatever he going. He's not gonna be on the phone chilling. That ain't gonna happen. If you go into the medium or if you go into the low, he ain't just gonna be on all that time to just
You
walk
know,
around.
Miss Esquire thinks that he might wind up going to a maximum
Well, he
because
got
of his offense against minors.
well, I'll say if he goes to a maximum, if he goes in there and he does the right thing and he learns something and he brings his recidivism score down, he can get to a medium pretty quick. It might be 3 or 4 years, but I don't know how much his recidivism score has went down since he's been in jail. You have to take into account that he's been in jail for 4 years, so he might have already reduced his recidivism score by being in jail 4 years enough to be able to go to a medium.
Okay. I don't know anything about that stuff with the guidelines and all of that, but okay.
And let's remember this one thing: the BOP is one of the largest unions in America, and they protect their own. That lady would have had some
Right.
of the
And she
best
had
lawyers.
retired. She took
Yes,
those emails and retired.
yes. And do you think that the DOJ or anybody else is going to go after the BOP? And a lot of people don't know
They're
that
not.
the BOP is its own entity. See, once the judge sentences you and he remands you over to the BOP, that is a whole set of rules
Right.
that you have to follow within the. It's
Right.
like the army; they have books and codes.
They have codes, ethics, laws, all
Yes,
that.
yes. He'll
Policies,
find out when he
all
get
that.
where he going. You'll get it. You get rolled up. Your ass got to go to court in there. You got to go to court.
Larry, I have a question. When you were in the prison and you went to your emails, did a warning sign pop up on the screen?
Like 5 of them.
Okay, and did they
Like
have to do pertaining to your privacy?
they tell you, if you click on this shit, none of your shit is private and anybody can access it at any time. And if you're doing anything on here you don't have no business, you will be fucked up and to the highest fucking shit of the law. Yeah, they tell you in
Okay,
big white letters every time you click on it.
right. Okay, just wanted to know that because I read about that somewhere. So, yeah. Okay, that is facts, y'all. So,
True and actual facts. True and actual facts.
Yeah, like you need to take a fucking nap. And she's running around here panicking, doing all this extra shit, but she won't
right.
talk about everything she's fucked up in the last 4 years.
She fucked up a
You
lot
can't
of
blame
shit.
nobody. She can't. If you want somebody to blame, that's who you blame because that
Mhm.
is his strongest. That is who's been in his ear,
Yeah,
and he
my thing
made
is,
the
did
most
she get
critical.
Greenberg fired? I believe she did, right?
Man,
Yeah.
listen, man. Man, listen, man. It ain't nothing that go on with
Right.
him. You see, nothing that go on with him interview wise, everything. I think Levi got him to go on Storm, but every other decision, his lawyers, all these other people, all of that, that's all her,
Oh,
man.
oh no, here's the worst part.
Yeah, that
I
woman
guess
is
I think
definitely, yeah.
she put him on some gorgeous Dre person.
Oh
or
God,
whatever.
a
And
pimp.
Trent put up the other night that this guy has been charged with prostituting minors.
Yeah,
He
you
put
hear
up the-
pimp?
yeah.
Did you see
He's
her
kind of
video?
like
And
so P.
Did you
What's
see
his
her
name?
video? She put Whitney Houston up there. You will not see her post anyone or go on anybody's channel unless they are a pimp or been on drugs. You just will not see it.
Yeah, that was kind of
if you
weird.
doing a video, if either one of y'all doing a video, what in your mind tells you to put Whitney Houston in your video?
A bitch who's up all night doing videos from a closet.
Okay. Like anybody that she gone on, she been on 3 or 4 pimps channels, putting Whitney Houston and motherfuckers, and it's the writings on the wall, you know. But
and you telling people to write letters and shit as we don't got the recordings of your videos threatening the victims, inciting people to threaten the victims,
inciting people to threaten, call the prison and
call the
notify,
warden.
call the prison, the warden, call the prison and notify the inmate that he has cooperated with the government so they can kill him.
As if we don't got those
taking the
videos of
rehab,
her dumb ass doing that.
This lady's crazy.
Well,
Over
no.
a pedophile.
She didn't just start getting crazy. At some point, you have to blame them. You know, they are addicted. They are addicted to people that had access to him.
Uh-huh.
They're addicted to it. And
Wow, Diva.
I couldn't help it. I could not help it. I'm so sorry, Larry. I had to do it.
They are groupies. Remember when they talk so much shit about Carrie and Bruce.
they did.
And then all of a sudden, see at the press conference, oh, let me take a picture with you.
OMG.
Dirty groupies.
Everybody in his camp, they are like celebrities. They get treated that way. And then when you find out something fucked up about them, you know, half of the people still support them, half don't. It's just weird. You know,
it is really weird behavior.
Y'all slept with his brother. Y'all slept with his brother. Now you're gonna say, y'all, one of y'all slept with the brother.
Wait a minute. What? Hold on, Keep. Stop. What are you talking about?
I ain't the one who said it. I'm just repeating what was said. Let's make this.
What?
No.
You gotta feed me that tea, bitch. What?
What do
you mean?
Somebody sucked that tooth.
Right, Larry. Like, Keep. What are we talking about?
What the fuck?
Who still got the video when they was fighting in Brooklyn? Because the person was in there.
Man, that's so much.
What? The video of who?
Remember they was about to fight at the restaurant? That tells you everything you need to know. I ain't saying no lies. One of the super fans put that out there.
Man, that's so motherfucker.
I mean, if you
really? When did they do it? Okay, I know who you're talking about, the super fan, right?
Remember it was during the 2021 trial. And they was at the restaurant. It was about to be a fight. Go look at that video very carefully. Tells you everything that I need to know. And
there was a couple of women in those videos. Yes, there was.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Wow. No way, Jose.
Ain't no limit. Ain't no limit.
Right, Larry. Really?
Somebody else who I will
think
not
about the
also
situation.
named, who I will also not name. And no, that tea did not come from the big fat liar because he's a liar. So no, we wouldn't believe if it came from him. But that came from when they get angry with each other, they start talking so much or whatnot, they start putting out all the tea.
Yo,
So that's
make me
one.
choke on my
I'm
blood.
not gonna say no names, but we know who keeps slept with too.
Oh no. Oh man. It's been one hell of a ride. I ain't lying, it's been one hell of a ride, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
I ain't spreading no lies. I ain't got
It's been a lot of people. It's been a lot of people. It's been a lot of people that supported him, and he shits. He take a big shit.
You got a bunch of weirdos out here.
Oh,
These
man.
bitches are willing to do anything for our Smelly, his
Uh-huh.
family.
Not no more.
to
Not no more of
pretend-
them days. Shit, not no more of them days is up.
Right, you know what? Quite a
Yesterday
few
they was
women
like, man,
are
fuck that nigga.
turning their back on him, I see. Mhm.
Man, listen, you remember that lady came out and told everybody that they need to pay, I think, $50,000 to get all the family to the trial?
Oh yeah, I remember that when she did that shit. That
Then
shit
she
was
came
funny.
back and said she need $5,000 to get the transcripts.
Right.
Shit is amazing.
Right.
Just show up. Don't talk to nobody. No base.
I'm
Don't
like,
go
damn,
live.
if
No
she
nothing.
wanted
Like,
the
yeah,
transcript, she could have made donations to us, and
he
we
need
could have given her the transcript.
Man, she don't want that shit. Man, she don't
Oh,
want that
y'all,
damn
y'all, just in case y'all didn't see it in the
talk
chat,
to the nigga that write the checks.
Levi is talking shit about us.
He
I'm about
is.
to go over there.
Where? Let
I'm
me
about to
see.
go over there.
Oh,
I'm
he's
about to go
live.
over there.
He's
I'm about to
talking
put
shit
on
about
his
us.
channel. Let me see.
I'm about to go over there. What are you talking
Oh
about?
my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Okay,
Y'all,
Larry, go beat him up, Larry. We
I'm
gonna be
finna
on
go
this
over
side listening.
oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! He's so bothered. He is so bothered. He's
Why is he so mad? Oh my Lord, have mercy, Jesus.
Jesus.
Damn,
You
Levi.
You super fans went and brought your Edith book. You slept with Rkelly. One of y'all slept with me. But remember when the Skinner was in the restaurant?
Do you hear him?
No.
Oh, God.
Hey, they cannot get mad that y'all put that tea on your lives. That was the biggest tea ever.
All of Oko, Larry, I want to say this to all of you,
You so mad.
especially the terrorists.
What the terrorists got to do with it? Why they involved?
The so-called Rkelly supporters have set, and I watched them do it,
Oh,
and attack and call names and call Azrael bitches and hoes and engage in their inferior speech. The one thing I knew that Oko could never deal with was intelligence. Man's in the house. You'll sit down and grab you a beer or a drink and listen to what I'm about to say, grown man. The one thing I knew that they could never deal with were two things: truth and intelligence. However,
we can't
when
deal with
you
the truth. We don't speak
engage with Oko and Larry and them,
we speak lies.
and you start becoming irate and you're cussing and you're this and that. Larry, call SpongeBob and tell him to come on over here. Tell SpongeBob to go get a switch off the tree and come on over here. Tell him. Levi got some. Tell him to go get a big switch off the tree. I'm about to tear his ass up.
Oh, because he's gonna tear his
When
ass
you
up. Oh,
approach
really?
them and you engage with them from an intellectual level, a respectful level, now you got them. Because they cannot use. What's up, Big Vi? Hold on. What's up, bro?
Grown little boy.
They cannot use and have that excuse to say, well, you're being irate, you're being malicious, and you're attacking us. So from day one, I've always tried to engage in diplomatic speech. I started the debates with Larry, he will agree. And I would
Get over
always
there,
try to
SpongeBob, and get your
approach
brothers
this
back
from
over
a
there. We're
perspective
gonna be
where
over
we
here.
could all sit at a table of commonality while disagreeing with one another, but at the same time engage in civil discord, engage in those kinds of conversations. Where Angie Walker, Miss Walker at? Engage in those kinds of conversations where what? Both they and us could grow. So today, I was looking forward to having SpongeBob. What up, though? Just stay tuned. I'm about to put the thing in a thing, and I want to have a
Okay, our
conversation with
brothers
you.
are over there.
And I want to reference what I'm about to say. I would ask that after this live is over, that each and every one of you go back and revisit Diva Divine Lights live. And I want you to listen to the exchange that I myself and the attorney who refers to herself as Esquire had. And I want you to tell me where Levi was disrespectful. I want you to go back and listen to it. And I want you to tell me, Brother Jojo, where Levi was being disrespectful, disingenuous, and dishonorable. I was having an intellectual exchange, a conversation with that woman who is an attorney. But at the end of that conversation, I said something.
Levi, stop it.
Keep. You can show your
are
face.
so
Keep,
mad
come on
at
in
the
when I put
fact
the thing in the thing.
You so mad at
Keep.
the fact that
You so bad.
Into
He
the
bad.
conversation, and she said something that was
he's upset that
indicative
Miss Esquire didn't bow down to him.
of how
That's all
black
that is. He's upset at the fact that Miss Esquire didn't bow down to his bullshit and that she wasn't having none of his nonsense. Like, what are you talking about? I'm a real lawyer. I'm not some fucking YouTube lawyer that you think is a YouTube lawyer. I'm a real lawyer and I know the law. I work under the law right now to this very day. Like, and I'm not gonna tell you my opinion because I can't do that ethically by law.
Wait, he talking about me. Yo, he talking about me. Put it up. Press play. He talking
people
about me
think.
from what I've been told.
But she said something with all due respect, Keep, SpongeBob,
oh Lord,
Diva,
okay,
Miss Esquire.
He's so mad.
She said something that I must say was one of the most ignorant statements I've ever heard in my life. Listen to me, brother Big Vibe.
What she said?
Keep saying, and listen, if anything I'm saying, when you go over there and listen to it, after this is over, if I'm lying, I'll cash app you $150. On God.
Oh, Skylight
Keep
called me
said,
dumb,
and
y'all.
I'm paraphrasing, she said, Levi is questioning someone who has a law degree.
A Juris
So that right there shows that he don't know what he's talking about. That's some of the most ignorant shit.
And you don't.
And only a black person.
Why is that ignorant? She was speaking her.
Tell you how ignorant you sound, Keith.
It's an
I have been around some of the most wealthy, ultra-wealthy white people in my life.
Oh, he's so bothered.
I want you to listen to me. In our community, I sit and I speak with wealthy white people. And one thing I must say about them
now he's
is that they value any and all opinions. Do they agree? Nope, not necessarily. But they at least listen to me, SpongeBob. Because I'm going to speak some real shit on here tonight, and you're welcome to defend yourself. Because when you have the truth, you don't have to run or hide from nothing, no one, or anybody. I have sat with a lot of and observed a lot of wealthy white people. Hear me, Keith. You take a man like Steve Jobs. You take a man who is a multi-billionaire. Huh? You let them get a diagnosis from one of the top physicians, surgeons,
So somebody
those who
bothered.
work in the medical field. Listen to me, Keith.
You are so bothered.
I was talking to a surgeon at the coffee house who graduated at the top of his class, and as we're sitting there talking, this is a Indian guy. I said, so let me ask you a question. So do presidents have only the top graduates of medical school to work on them when it comes to their health and when it comes to their physicians? He said, definitely. He showed me something on his phone.
Right. One color, one voice over here. We are
and he said, I'm
over here.
certified in that. I'm qualified to be a physician to a president. And he started showing me his credentials. He was a young guy.
Right, Angela.
And he and I had an exchange. And I said to him, I said, wow, I started laughing because something else he had talked about.
Right.
And I said, wow. He said, why are you laughing? I said, you're very arrogant. And he said, oh my God.
Nisi, go shut your bitch ass. Well, you know what?
I said that, I'm saying that in a complimentary way. I said that I believe.
Because if I say something.
That
I can't really see the chat. Hold on, wait. Let me go to the
real true police officers, first responders, firemen, ES.
let me see if I can type in the chat. Do you see me?
Doctors. And
let me see.
Karen Johnson, I'm going to address you in just a minute. Give me
you
one
see
second.
My message?
Doctors.
Let me look at something.
And those who are first responders, I said to myself, I feel that I'm not talking about these rogue ass low down police officers. I'm talking about real justice officials.
They got you blocked.
Judges. If you are true to the game,
he hasn't unblocked
you have a right to be arrogant.
He hasn't unblocked me yet.
He said, what do you mean? I say, you and I can be sitting right here. And a little black girl can walk past. A little Hispanic girl can walk past. And you can say to me, oh, you see her right there?
Miss Esquire gave you her professional.
She was dead on the operating table, and I tried another procedure and saved her life.
Karen.
That gives you the right.
Right. Yeah, I'm not even gonna give him any more airplay. Y'all want to watch him? Y'all can go over there
with an attitude of gratitude, bitch. If you don't sit your old face ass down, get the fuck out of here. Get your ass all the way out of here.
I can't. I'm blocked still. I'm still blocked from his shit.
Karen, listen. You know what, Karen? I'm not. He's bothered. Look how bothered he is. He had to do a whole lot of us. He's so bothered.
That pot said to the kettle. Right, Samara. All this doesn't matter. Dude has been convicted in 2 federal courts. At Keep, don't fall for this long-winded James Cousins bullshit.
They gonna say I'm a mumble mouth and all this other stuff.
Fireman, cops, first responder, my cousin. James, he's talking about himself. Ave Maria James, que cousin. SpongeBob shouldn't entertain this ignorant bullshit. You know, but you know what? Our brothers got to do what they got to do at the end of the day. They got to defend it. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that shit.
I'm about to put in the chat. He's never coming home.
Right. Right. He's never coming home. That's just what it is. And if New York should happen to get overturned, the earliest he could get home is in his early 70s, his middle 70s, like 75. Where the fuck is he going at 75? What's he doing at 75? Really? He better keep his ass sitting somewhere. That's what he better do when he get out. And then he gonna have supervision release? Come on now. He gonna be doing drug tests. He gonna have a supervisor every day check up on him, make sure he's indoors. You know, 9 o'clock, he got a curfew. He could only go but so far. It's gonna be miserable for his ass at 75.
And y'all, this is what I put in his chat. I put, your cousin is a convicted pedophile who has been sentenced. He is never coming home. Go to sleep.
Right. Right.
No, they mad. Yo, they mad.
That fucking part, okay?
They mad now on
That
balance.
fucking part.
They definitely
What's up, Chi-Town? What's up to all of y'all in the chat? What's up, everybody?
And y'all, all y'all, they mad. They mad. They so mad.
Truth Strong's over there too. Our sister's over there. Nisimo said, please don't just come in without hitting the like. Get the fuck out of here. Word up, guys. I hope y'all hit the like button over here, y'all. I should get like 60 likes. If that, at least 50.
Ooh, they mad. Oh, they pissed at me now. I called that cop.
She said, what's rattled his cage? Is he mad about LS live earlier? I just woke up. No, he's mad because he got shut down on my live. That's why. Because he tried to play Miss Esquire and she shut his ass down, and then we gave him the boot because he just, he just doesn't know how to shut up.
Well, I need to come off this thing. I'm about to go watch Snowfall and go to bed.
That's what I'm about to do too. It's 10 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm about to shut down this live. I love you guys.
All right,
for those on the replay, please watch the replay. Make sure you hit that like button. Yes, please hit that like button.
He's so bothered. He gonna be bothered for the next 4 hours. He gonna be his live, and we gonna be in our bed. Child, if you don't, man, ain't nobody.
And y'all already know. Hit your girl up if you want to support the channel. And yes, honey bunny, yes. I seen you in there, Truth. I seen you in there. I'm blocked. I can't do anything.
I blocked too, Dad, because I called his cousin a pedophile. So
no,
I'm not allowed back over there.
Right, Karen, it ain't our fault. What the fuck? Yo, for those that are on the replay, please make sure you leave your comments. Leave it in the comment section. Make sure it's respectful, okay? So they don't get deleted because my mods will block your shit. All right? Straight up. Okay? And for those who are not subscribed, subscribe to that channel. Hit that notification bell. Put it on all. All right? And your girl Diva Divine Light is out. And before we go, I'm going to hit it up for the groupies.
Good night.
Good night, sis. I love yous. All right, mommy. Peace.
All right, take peace. Love you.